Yo, chaos. I think there are some rules to which sports they can add because some sports are not played in like everywhere. Like
Yeah.
cricket. Cricket, for example, it's not an Olympic sport, but it's played by
And it
like
shouldn't be because it's a dumb sport. I've seen cricket, and every time I see it, it's like, why would somebody try to make this a sport? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I like.
baseball is there.
Bro, baseball is so boring, but it is a sport.
Basically, it is boring, but at least it makes more sense than cricket.
That's true.
Dude, baseball is like a, you could say it came from cricket only. They just changed some rules.
Oh man,
Fuck no, bro. What the
like
fuck you talking
like
about?
excitement. They added excitement to it.
Yeah, they made it good
It still
instead
sucks,
of
Baseball,
but they made it
crap.
good.
dude, cricket is better than baseball.
Oh my god! Of course you would say that.
Bro,
That's like your nation.
really?
That's your country's national sport or something.
No, national sport is hockey.
What?
India.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I like about those interviews? Because I sometimes watch actor roundtable interviews and all that, and it's pretty interesting, right? But
Yeah,
they always
roundtable
put,
ones are fun.
yeah, they always put him on the spot. Where like it's like they asked Robert De Niro, what was it like working with Scorsese? And of course, he has to suck his dick. He's like, oh, he's great. He's a master, and it's so pretentious in a way, you know how pretentious they have to be. It's
It's
kind of
like
funny.
them all. It's like them all patting each other's backs.
Yeah, it's like a big circle jerk. It's a huge circle jerk, honestly.
It's you know it's how with players, when they would come together and appreciate each other.
You know that brings me to something. They're coming together and appreciate each other. The Olympics. It's crazy what they're
Yeah.
doing with this. You got all these
Well,
countries coming together to compete, but at the same time they appreciate each other. The players, the countries. Like, why do they even do that, right?
I understand. It's like the world is a huge playground, and we all decided to play along this little game. We're like, okay, everybody from our country, we pick certain peoples, and they're gonna represent us. Your country does the same, all right? Cool. We're gonna have fun, and then we can bounce around and do gymnastics and play baseball. We can do everything. Um,
But
so it's kind of like, yeah, it's a huge game the whole world plays.
the whole
You know.
world. But have you guys actually watched? When was the last time you actually watched the Olympics, though?
this
I used
watching
to
it
really
right now.
like the
Not all
Olympics.
the sports, but some.
I never got into the Olympics.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I
Me
love
too.
gymnastics. I love gymnastics. I used to watch gymnastics a lot. I used to watch the pool, when they dive. The one I forgot the name.
Yeah, diving one is, and then there's swimming ones. Swimming ones are like as well. Hurdles. Hurdles are good.
So do you watch?
Hurdles.
Yeah,
So do you watch only the
the
Olympics?
pole was good too.
What'd you say?
What?
The pole vaults, I was
Short put
saying.
as
What did you
well.
say,
Pole
there?
Short put
vaults.
as
Yeah.
well.
So do you guys watch this stuff outside of the Olympics or only the Olympics? What's the appeal of it? Because for me,
Only in the
Only in
Olympics mainly.
Olympics.
but what your country may not even be in it. Like especially, well, I don't even know what country are you in, bro.
Yeah, it's no,
Is
it's
there even
yeah,
I
Puerto
don't even
Rico.
know. Is
Yeah,
that
Puerto
your
Rico won.
Yeah,
One of
is
them.
yeah,
that your
but
United States?
chaos. Chaos. It's like it's fun to see like different countries compete because as
But
soon
where's
as
the fun
like
in that? I honestly don't get it. I've never seen any fun in
like
any of the
normally
sports on
for
there.
people it's like pride. Like for United States, it's like, hey man, we are getting so many medals, shit like that. But
Well,
for
where's the
me,
pride in an individual who probably doesn't
yeah,
even live
for
in their
me,
country
for
competing against
for
other people
for
living in
me,
their country?
it's more like it's fun to see who will top because there are always two, three favorites. So it's like a cutthroat fine. The final is the one which is interesting because it's like who will win. And sometimes like the favorite guy just does some stupid shit and gets disqualified.
So you actually watch this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, what have you been watching? Let's just say this year. What were you watching this year?
Yeah, so this year I watched the swimming competitions.
Okay, which one?
The
I know
in swimming,
they have a few. So
yeah. Yeah, like
The free ones,
they
obviously,
started
dude.
they started mixed medleys this year. Like normally mixed medleys, like when the girls and guys, like a team of four comes, and you can put them in any kind of order, and then they have to, it's like
A dance.
every race they do, like first guy jumps and he does the butterfly, then the next guy will jump and he
Yeah,
will do the like the backstroke, and the third will be like a dolphin or
yeah.
underwater. So it's like that. So this was the first time when they have like both kind of genders, and they can come in any order. So it can be like a girl competing in the boy. So the main strategy point was, how are you going to do the lineup? So what
So
United
must be.
States did, yeah. So what United States did was they first introduced like. The the girl, they let one guy lead, then it was the girl, then the third was another guy, and the last one was their best guy. What happened was, in Great Britain they used guys, then the last one they used the girl. So they won because they had more lead. Because when the girl was when the United States female swimmer was competing against the Great Britain's male swimmer, so they got too much lead. So the last guy, the one who the Caleb Dressel, he's like he won the most medals this year. So he had too much to cover, but he still almost caught. So they won by 1 second.
So what's the difference
No,
between this and just like a small competition, like a let's say in the country, whatever their
no, the
championship
thing,
would be?
the
Why wouldn't you watch
yeah,
that, but you would watch this? Like I get you said the
here it's like
competition,
different countries competing, so it's not like it's
Yeah,
like yeah.
but what?
It's
it's
like
listen.
it's like
Let,
how FIFA is. Like people watch domestic leagues, but FIFA they watch because all of these players who are playing for different clubs play for the team. So it's like a different kind of sports, because you see Brazil versus Germany, Argentina versus Spain. And normally what you have are like Euros. So Euros is like all the European countries that
Uh huh.
compete with each other. Copa America is like all the American countries play with each other, and then Asian countries like South Korea, they have like their own Asian Cup. So South Korea, Japan, and all these compete. So in FIFA, all of these countries are coming together and playing.
But
So
you
it's
do,
like,
but you do
so
get that it's
sometimes you
pretty
get
much
shocking.
that you do
Yeah.
you do get that it's pretty much people who don't play for the country representing their country instead of people who actually do represent their country, but just because they're not as good, they don't get to represent their country in the Olympics or like you said
I,
the FIFA.
I mean, there are rules. Like if you have like let's say like Italian racer, like there was one Italian racer, Lorenzo. So he was American born, but he represented
You
Italy.
got to be there like 3 years.
wait, Lorenzo Lamas, the Renegade.
What?
He said, "You guys act like you know all about movies and series, and you don't know shit." Okay, you didn't even know Lorenzo Lamas. Okay, go ahead.
We're talking about the Olympics, sir.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead. So
you
yeah,
were
they gotta
Not
be in the
American actor.
they gotta live in the country for like 3 years or 3.5 years or something, and then they can represent them.
Yeah, so like Puerto Rican one, like she could play for United States as well, but she chose to represent Puerto Rico and won the first
of
Puerto
course
Rican
She's
Puerto
from
National
Rican
Puerto
Team.
pride,
Rico.
bro.
She's from Puerto
Puerto
Rico.
Rican
Yes.
pride. You would never understand our pride, chaos.
Well, look, I understand her representing the country she was born in. That makes sense.
Of
Why would she
course.
represent the United States? So look at it like
I
this.
mean, some do. Like let's say some people have like Nigerian roots, they still represent United States.
Why?
Like in FIFA,
You know
it
that's
is this.
funny.
Like in FIFA as well, it's the same thing. Like there are some French players that have like Nigerian parents, so
So
they
how,
can
how
play
can
for
you root
both
for them?
countries.
No, not their parents. I mean them. Like I said, just for the Olympics. Like you said, you have what
Uh,
you say. This
Because
he
they
went.
live in France, so they are like we consider ourselves French. Like in
listen,
there
listen,
was
listen.
one guy, Jack Grealish, so he could play for Northern Ireland and he could play for England. So it was
Where was he born?
like he was born in uh, England only.
So he should play for England.
Yeah, but
They
he's
pick whoever they want, dude. If they have the choice to pick
yeah, like
between
some people
two, they
It's
can.
like
then it's eliminating the whole thing of having countries versus each other. It should be where you're born. You shouldn't be able to flip flop. I mean, everybody can move.
yeah, but normally people who are born in good countries they stay there because they have facilities and everything. Like it takes more effort to represent Nigeria and win for
These
them
are
because they have
sports.
less,
Sports
yeah,
is literally
because
all
they have
effort.
less.
It's all effort. So I don't see
Yeah,
why.
but resources are also important. Like in
Not
India,
really.
you don't even. No,
You can run. India
no,
won
no,
the
no.
gold medal
Chaos,
this
chaos,
year.
chaos,
You know.
chaos, 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 chaos.
Yes, ma'am.
Some countries, like people
Hold on,
only.
Iraq. We haven't forgotten about you. Go ahead.
No, no, you know,
Yeah,
I,
in some countries, conditions of athletes are so bad, like they only start playing when the Olympics are coming. So just 1 year
But
before they would
doesn't
start
that
practicing.
has to do with their own selves? They like most athletes, they play all year round. In any sports, they should be playing all year round. If they're only doing it a year before the Olympics, that has to do with them, not their country.
No, not every sport. So you cannot even like let's say if you play archery and you are like a really poor, you are in a really poor country and you are poor, so you cannot get that kind of instrument. Like that is very expensive.
You can't make a bow. You tell me an archer doesn't know how to make their own bows and arrows?
This one like they use the best materials, like it's light and the way the bows are made it's like precise, like aerodynamics they do so much research in order to make that kind of tools.
you know what? The bow competition in the Olympics, I find it boring. I don't watch that one.
I find every competition in the Olympics boring.
But dude, I
Yeah.
was gonna say, I think I heard a comedian. I was like, or a streamer. Somebody was mentioning that he was talking about diversity, and he was talking about diversity. The diversity of America is really apparent when they play in the Olympics. When the American team, you got a black girl, Chinese girl, a white girl, and when you look at the Chinese team, there are Chinese bitches. There's no diversity. There's literally no diversity in some countries. Like if you watch some countries, there are white girls and they all look alike. But when you look at the American team, it's like a diversity
That's
of
just
all the
that's
races.
just because of size. We know that, but
Yeah.
No, it's like the American thing is the only one that can trade for countries. So like, okay, we'll take some Asians. Okay, let's take that black girl over there. That's she's pretty good. Let's take this white girl. The diversity. That's kind of what makes them one of the stronger teams. I think the U.S.
Also, Rogue,
But
let's be honest here. If you have a choice between, let's say, United States and China, and you
China.
want to work in some place, you will go to United States. You won't go to China.
But this is Olympics. You're representing your home country where you were born.
No, I'm
That's what it
talking
should
about
be about.
diversity. I'm talking about diversity. Like
What does
why
that do with
people go from one country to another. Like let's say if a
You
Nigerian is
realize
leaving
United States
Nigeria,
is literally like a little. It's a what's that saying? It's just a little pot with everything from the world from there. Everybody comes here.
yeah, because it's
Same
land of
like the
opportunity. So
UK.
people
What
come to
opportunity?
United States.
What opportunity?
I mean,
To not represent your country?
better lifestyle and stuff like that.
To
So
not
people
represent
come
your
and
country
then
in the
their kids
Olympics?
are
Is
born
that your
here.
opportunity?
You are not getting my point.
You're not
I'm
even
talking
talking
about
about the I'm
diversity.
talking about the Olympics. I don't know what you're
No,
talking about.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about why in
exactly.
some
Exactly.
countries there are no
Exactly. Man, it's
diversity. I'm
obvious
talking
why.
about that.
It's obvious why.
Yeah, so my point is like let's say if you have to move your daughter somewhere, will you move to United States or will you move her to China?
China.
well, no, chaos. Listen, it's easy. The world politics of the world end up affecting how the Olympics play out.
Yeah.
It's really, honestly that easy. And
But isn't the
obviously,
Olympics about just athletes doing sports? Nothing.
no, dude,
No
it's
one
No,
more
it's
than
cares
that.
about
about
the
Honestly,
countries.
politics.
No,
no, no,
it's
no, no. the Olympics have a lot of elements to it that like take it up a notch. You were comparing
such
like
as
local sports. You're comparing local sports to like the Olympics. Like, what's the difference?
it's literally the
Like the
same
Olympics.
competition.
No, no, no. Listen.
The
The
only
Olympics
difference
is like
is
the,
every single country or most countries compete
exactly
in the Olympics.
that has a lot another element to it. The other element is that they pick the finest players to represent it.
Do
So it's
they?
like the pinnacle.
Do
It's like
they?
the pinnacle.
They put
They do for the most part, dude. Okay, don't.
where was LeBron James this year? I ain't see him.
Kevin Durant was there.
No one cares about that snake bitch.
They were calling him Captain America.
Oh, no, listen. That reminds me. One of the major moments I remember of the Olympics was Puerto Rico defeated Team USA. Dude, people here went crazy when that shit happens. That's another element of the Olympics. You got like the and on a local scale, you have pride for your local team, but on a major scale, you have pride for your own country, and that adds another element
But
to
how
the
does this
Olympics.
work
You're
though?
rooting for
You
your
realize
country, dude.
it's not doing anything for your country by winning that a game or winning a
No, it
medal.
doesn't do anything. It's a game we all play. Like I said, it doesn't really.
And
Like,
that's
It,
like,
it,
like,
it,
like,
and just
like
like
that
I
guy
said,
Car-
and just like I said, people who don't
I,
even play for their countries. They go to another country and play.
yeah, and I bet in their local country they hate him. Like when they talk about that athlete, they're like, "He's a sellout. He was born here. He should be playing for us." Because that shit happens too.
but for the other countries, like he made us proud. Like that Lorenzo guy, he won Italy the medal in a competition they have never won the gold medal in. So it was a big thing. And there was one guy, Castle Wow.
So
So
what's gonna
he
happen?
broke the world record 2 times.
So what's gonna
Like,
happen with that gold record, the gold medal that the country got that they never had before?
bro, they will just be like, yeah, and then forget about it.
Listen,
But
chaos. Listen, chaos. Let me put you an example.
but that's
Let's
beside
say
that's
you're
my point
really,
though. They're gonna
let's
forget
say
about it.
you're a really good ice skater. Let's say you're a really good ice skater.
It might
You move like a fairy.
it
You
might
move
not
like
be
a
that
fairy in the
nice.
ice. You move like a fairy. It's fucking beautiful. You're the best ice skater, right? And you were
Okay.
born in the U.S. And you were born in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
But when you were young, you moved to Canada, and you really found your home in Canada, right? And you're a dual citizen now, a Canadian citizen and an American citizen, right?
Yeah.
So would you play for Canada or would you play for the U.S.?
U.S.
Canada's your home, but
U.S.
you were born in the U.S.
U.S. Why would I not?
Really?
If it's a
You would just
competition,
betray
if
your
it's a comp,
Canadian brothers like that? Those
if it's
people raised you, bro.
hey, I love Canadian girls, but look here,
But they
if
don't,
it's a
but they don't
competition,
like you.
you're supposed to represent the country you're born in, not the country you moved to.
No, you are making that rule for some reason. That's not a
That's
rule
the
you exactly
rule. It's
have
the
to follow.
countries. Why would you have an American on the Canadian team? That makes
Because,
no sense.
like I said, it depends on your life experience. Let's say Canada was
That's
your
not life
home.
experience. You're not Canadian. Just because you moved to Canada doesn't mean you're Canadian. Just because you moved to America doesn't mean you're American.
Constant
Just because
war.
you moved to India doesn't mean you're India. Just because you moved to Costa Rica doesn't mean you're Costa Rican.
I mean, to be
But you
honest,
settled there.
if you are even born in America, they will still call you Indian.
So,
But you are American.
no, they don't call anyone American in America. You're white, you're black, you're Indian, you're Asian,
Yeah.
you're Mexican.
Let me
That's
ask
all
you
that
this,
is.
Ash. Ash,
Yep.
what sports or what categories of the Olympics do usually Indians excel at? Because I can't think
They
of any.
they won a gold medal this year for something.
Yeah, in javelin. First gold medal ever.
Yeah, how did you feel about that?
Like it's the first gold medal in javelin, and I don't give a shit because at the end of the day, politician will take the credit. They'll be like, "Hey, it's because of us," and the guy will go back to poverty, living in a hut.
Okay.
He just well, probably living in a hut is what make him good at javelin. He has to run on his food
No,
and
the thing
shit.
is that
he
no,
just
the
throw
thing
he
is
throws
that
sticks at birds.
The best guy got out early because of some reason, so that's why the best one was not even in the competition. That's why the Indian dude
Excuses,
won.
excuses. He quit. So
He
Ash,
got disqualified, I think, or he got injured and then he was out. I forgot.
so you're watching the Olympics. I can tell you're into it. You're giving me like detailed reports on all these things I've never even heard of. So, what do you think about the that black gymnast girl, the American one, who said that she was having mental health issues and that's why she left, and then she came back and competed? What was your opinion on that?
Uh, what she said was that her mind was thinking something else and the body was reacting in a different way.
So she's an
So for
athlete.
a yeah, so she was saying that if she wants to do some kind of move and her body is doing some different kind of move, then she is not following the routine, so that will make
Yeah,
that will make her lose
she might
points.
get hurt
So
too.
and she might get hurt.
Yeah.
So that was probably a rational
So
decision.
why? So what do you think about her coming back?
Her
Like,
coming back was it was a risky move, but in that event she was better than the other girl, so that was like you can say since two of those people were qualified, so her competing in the event
uh-huh.
was like a risk that is worth taking for her because she can either win the medal or she cannot. So
Okay.
it's like a risk worth taking.
So you watch a lot of sports. So who's your favorite soccer player?
For me,
Sorry, I know it's football. Sorry, football. I didn't want you to get hate for calling it soccer.
I mean, I'll say Messi.
Okay, Messi. So let's say whatever the championship game is, he
Yeah,
starts playing, and then he has to get
yeah,
taken out, or whatever after halftime. After halftime, they have to get taken out. He said,
yeah.
and you just hear the interviewer saying something, some mental issue, whatever. He's saying his body won't move how he wants it to move. Like when he kicks the ball left, it goes right. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking take him out.
Okay, and then he comes back in at the end of the game.
No, he cannot
They're
come
already
back in. He
no.
cannot
I
come
mean,
back. Like in
okay. Let's just
football,
say
once you are
okay.
substituted.
What
Yeah,
he
let's.
can come back in.
Yeah, I got your scenario. So it's like he got taken off because of the
Yeah.
in the next game. It's the final, and
Okay.
he's like, I can play. So he's substituted in. Is that what you are? Is
Yeah.
kind of a scenario you are planning, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, I mean, it depends because in football it's like if you are putting one player, then you are taking one player off. So it's like
That's the same thing that happened with what's her name, Simone Biles.
no.
Biles.
It was different because two players, both of them qualified and they performed in the competition.
But she didn't, or she stopped. She took her side.
Uh, yeah, so the other person still performed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like whoever qualified, you can either have all of them perform in the competition or you can choose who will perform.
Okay.
So
So
it's
let's
like
say
so her performing is not gonna affect team
it
or
is.
anything.
It is because, as you said, the Olympics is about the country getting gold. So
Yeah,
her
for
not
country it's
performing
like
lowers her chances.
yeah.
So let's say
So
Messi, he comes
lower
back.
chance of it will lower a medal. Like let's say if she performs and she gets a gold or silver,
They didn't get gold,
or
did they? They got silver, right?
no, they got silver.
Mm.
And if she didn't perform, they won't even get silver. So at least she got a medal. So that's how they would
She
look
shouldn't
at.
have gotten a medal.
Why?
She
She
left.
performed
She abandoned them. You're gonna award
different
somebody for
competition.
It's not a. Hey, it's all the same. You quit mid
No,
competition.
in gym, no, there are uneven bars. Then there is a routine. Then there are
I know.
freestyle. So
I've seen
different kind
your
of
clips on
yeah.
ESPN.
Yeah. So
The uneven
so
bars,
my
the uneven bars is
the Sunili one.
no, the uneven bars are the one with the small bar and the bigger bar, right?
Yeah, yeah, like you have to
That one,
rotate
They're
like.
that one was
uneven.
always one of my favorites. That's what I think. That's my favorite one actually. That one and what's the other one when they run and then they launch off like a little trampoline and into like a fucking thing and they
Oh,
do
that
flip.
that's the
I don't know
pole.
what was that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's the pole one. Like that's the one I think semi
No,
medalist won the silver in.
no, not the pole, not the pole, dude. I'm not talking the one with the stick. I'm talking the one in gymnastics. Uh,
Where
That's
they
what he's
where they
without
talking
using
about.
run.
anything.
Yeah, that's what he's
Oh,
talking
where
about.
they run and then they perform the routine
Yeah, they
without
do they
anything,
do the
right?
spins and they gotta land in a
Yeah,
certain way. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, that one.
for
That
I
one.
think yeah, that's like freestyle one. That's you have to you
Yeah,
uh,
that one and the
like in that sport, based on your routine, points are already awarded. So everyone is ranked based on the routine. Now, when they will perform, how closer they were to the routine, like the amount of mistakes they made, points will be deducted. So based on that, the medal will be decided. The one who could not follow the routine will keep on losing points. So the only hope for a country is like the other country mess so much that their points are reduced and you come above them.
Why did you say hope for the country? When shouldn't it be the hope for the gymnast or whoever's doing it?
Yeah, but it's like
But what does the
they made
country
it
like?
like it's a
That's
country
my
thing.
main point here. What does the country have to do with what the individual is doing? Because let's be honest, maybe out of every 10 people, one of them's thinking
They
about the
want
country.
to
The
they
other
want to
ones are
go.
thinking about
Yeah,
just winning this for
yeah.
themselves.
They
So
they
what is
want
the
to
why do you say the
go.
country?
The thing is that they want to go. Like in United States, the kind
Yeah,
of
well,
coverage
all the
they gave.
countries want the
It,
gold, but this is about the
yeah.
individual performers in it.
well, you know what?
They want
Sometimes it affects. Listen, chaos. Sometimes countries, different countries, have different training methods.
uh
Um, so that does affect how that team performs, and they also have different cultures have different mindsets, different focuses.
so
So it does affect what.
so when they're performing, they're thinking about if I don't win this, the country won't get gold, or are they saying if I don't
Yeah.
win this, I won't get gold?
I will let the country down. So
That's a
it's like
very
more
different.
You
responsibility.
know what? I'm
That's a
gonna be
big
real.
Yeah,
I think they process it
because
on
like
an
chaos.
individual
Yeah,
level.
yeah. Rogue speak. You can speak.
No, no, no. I think as an athlete, you do represent your country, but you represent yourself first.
Yeah,
So I think in their mind, it's gonna be like, yeah, if I want to go, and if my country gets it, that's just a happy bonus. But I want it for myself.
because
You know
primarily,
what I mean?
especially with athletes, those are some of the most competitive people we
Yeah,
have. Like, in,
yeah, but chaos
Exactly.
it's
is
Yeah.
like
individual.
in some countries, let's say like you perform badly in the final, then you're fucked.
So
So
aren't they?
like the country,
Wouldn't they beat themselves up more because they are in the finals and they are competitive than what the country
like
could be?
like in let's say some countries, I think in China it was the case where if like let's say they select some kids for sports, so once your parents have given the kids to the government, then you cannot get them back. No matter how they will treat them, you have no control over that.
Okay.
So if let's say if they don't perform badly, like let's say they are performing in one sport where China gets gold every year, and they don't win the gold, then the thing is that they will treat them as like people who let the country down. So they would be like bashed.
Okay.
It's like in it depends on country to country. Like in United States, when they lost in the relay, like they fucked up the men's relay, so the everyone was bashing them. Like there was one guy who was already an athlete. He said that I have seen kids in like kids perform better than this. Like they were absolutely horrid. They let their country down and shit like that. So
How is
that
that
kind of
even
thing.
bashing though? How is that bashing?
It is bashing, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
Bro,
and it's
publicly
super
bashing.
the
condescending.
guy
Yeah.
could have said they suck. Is that bashing?
It's a lesser
No,
form of bashing.
A
yeah, it's
lesser
a lesser
form.
form of
So
bashing.
saying that some crippled kid runs better is bashing.
Yeah, that's more detailed, obviously, isn't it? It's like saying it definitely says like if I show you
so
dude, you they didn't do that well. Listen, there's layers to it. If I tell you that you didn't do that well, you're like, okay, that's a light criticism. If I tell you you suck, that's a little harsher. If I tell you my grandma can do it better than you and she's dead, that's way more harsher.
Yeah.
Now, come
I
on
mean,
now.
in
How?
some countries, what they would do is like, let's say, I'll give you an example. Like in India, there was Cricket World Cup, and Indian team didn't play well. So when they were coming back, all the mobs surrounded the bus and started throwing stones at the bus, and they were starting throw stones at the houses. They were like, these people ruined the country. They get so much money. They get
So
everything. So like
if your
it's kind
country's
of
doing
risky.
that just because you don't win, why would you care about getting them gold? Like
I mean,
you win the gold, great. India gets gold, but why would you care about going back to that if the previous Olympics they're the ones throwing stones at you and at your house?
Because like it or not, that's your home and that's your people,
That's
dude.
your
yeah,
home,
And
but that
that's
doesn't mean those are
kinda
your people. Your
yeah.
people wouldn't treat you the same whether you win or lose. They would encourage you. They
ideally,
would
dude.
say you
Ideally,
suck, but you can get
Ideally,
better.
but that's not how the world works.
Is it not?
listen.
In
Ideally,
most
ideally,
countries, yeah.
listen.
That's
Ideally,
why
So you're
that's why I
accepting rocks
no.
being thrown at your house? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
my point is telling you why I was bringing country in this, because in most countries it's like a thing of pride. So
Okay.
even in some Eastern European countries, like you are fucked if you will go. Like there, mm, uh, like in Russia, back when USSR and USA used to be like in a cutthroat competition, the players were fucked for fucking up. Like some of them would end up dead.
During wars,
No,
during
like
wartime,
when
like during the wartime, like
uh,
with the Nazis too.
no,
Back when
no,
in the
after,
Olympics.
yeah, yeah, during that kind of Olympics, like even afterwards, after the World War II ended, USSR was still in power.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when it wasn't dissolved, so United States and USSR would compete for the most medals. So
Listen.
athletes were fucked in that kind of
Do you guys
situation. So
remember? Do you guys
national
remember
pride.
when Rocky beat Draco in Rocky Four?
Was that real?
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Was that real?
The
Well,
one
when
who killed Apollo
yeah,
Creed, right? That guy.
yeah. When Draco came back to Russia, they killed him because he lost to Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd kill myself if Rocky beat me up. His name's Rocky. What the fuck?
No, Rocky Balboa. He's like a dumb
Yeah.
Italian. You got beat by a dumb
He
Italian.
literally yells, Adrian! Adrian! That's all he does. That guy beats you up.
Another event that I always found boring in the Olympic was the rings. You know that one.
Which
That one
one?
sucks.
Which one?
The rings, it's a gymnastic ones, was they
Yeah.
basically two rings and
Yeah.
you
Oh
balance it
yeah,
over them.
I
I know what you
remember
That
mean.
that.
one, I
Even
like the balancing bar. The balancing bar is pretty cool with the one where they have to balance. The routine one on the floor, I don't like that one that much. It's not horrible, but it's not my favorite, because they always pick some stupid song, some stupid mix of a song, and then they dance or some shit like that, and they do a couple of flips.
yes, so
So
those are routines basically. So they are
Yeah.
already graded. So when you're performing, you just have to be like, uh, you have to do it perfectly, because for every miss, your points are deducted from you.
hey,
I
who
think
won?
that same for figure skating as well. All the
Yeah.
routines are already ranked.
So when it comes
Yes,
to the
sir.
Olympics, usually they
Yes, sir.
have men on men, women versus women, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now I know they've recently added men and women, like you said, in some
Yeah, and
competitions.
cement.
So, what do you
Yeah.
think about? I heard this year in the powerlifting competition there was a woman who, in her first time when she first started lifting weights,
Transgender.
was a man. So she
Holy
went through.
shit, this topic.
So she
She
okay,
fucked
so
up.
in like
She
the early
she
two
she
thousands, she was a
injured
man.
herself.
She
She
never made any.
injured herself.
Well, she never made any competition. She never made the Olympics. The Olympics from like
Yeah.
2000 to like 2000, whenever she transitioned in like 2013, and then she became a woman. She was in. She They had said you had to do it for like 3 years, whatever. She competed in women's competitions. She started winning, and now she's in the Olympics for the first times ever. And like you said, yeah, she got injured.
Yeah.
What do you think? So I know people were saying that once you wait your the 3 years or whatever, like all the like testosterone, I guess, has died down. But do you think that's fair?
I'm gonna tell you this. I've heard a lot of debates over this topic. With those guys like Destiny and fucking Bosch and Oliver, they all talk about this in depth for like 3 hours. It's really complicated, honestly.
I mean, it's a
But
yes or no. It's a yes or no answer, honestly.
well, no, not really, dude. It's like when you break it down to like body composition and all that. It's
Yeah.
I heard them say, for example, that even if you're born a man, your development helps you have an advantage over women, just because you develop more as a man from your former years, and then when a woman have an advantage.
Why did your voice decrease?
Oh, my eyes, my eyebrows went off and his went up when when his voice changed. I was like, what the fuck?
No, sorry, I got a call while I was talking. So yeah, like I was saying, some people say that just the fact that you were born a man and you were raised as a man gives you an advantage if you transition.
What if you're raised as a woman?
Then you don't have that advantage.
Like, there's
Advantage.
plenty,
That's what
like,
they argue.
there's stories about the father always wanting a son, but he got a daughter. He raised her as a man. So let's say she went ahead, she turned into a man. She becomes a trans athlete. There you go. She's a man for 3 years. Does she have an advantage, or is she just like everyone other man?
You know, Chaos, I was thinking about something.
Go ahead.
Like when you asked, like in Olympics, she competed, right? But she could not beat the other girl.
Yeah, but
She
you said
injured
she was
herself.
injured, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, because it was too much for her. She
but
fucked up.
should she have been allowed to even compete? That's the question. Like they said, she met all the qualifications, like all the rules they have set up for this. She's in there. She's officially a woman. Cool. But because she was born a man, and she was weightlifting, even when she was young, she was weightlifting then. Do you think that she should have been allowed to compete? Let's say even if she was healthy, no injuries. Would that have been fair if she showed up and just won? Because you already know everyone would have sat on that.
Would still lose. So it does not become pits or not. I mean, for me, the kind of thinking is in this sense is like it, like some people have a different body composition despite like let's say two men are born. Some are way better than the other guy, right?
Yeah.
Because of the genetics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say if we are talking in that sense, like there's like black guys are always better at running. So should we organize all these races based on race because some has the advantage in genetics?
But that's kind of different, just because, like I said, you can't change your race color.
Yeah, I'm saying
Well, I
like
mean, you can.
It's talking about more genetics, about
yeah,
the genetics aspect of it.
yeah. So I'm
But you
like
can't help how
things
you're
are
born. You can't help
things
how
are,
you're born.
yeah, yeah.
So that's not. I get what you're saying, but you can't change how you're born or
I
your
mean,
genetics for that.
for my point is like sports have already been like unfair. Like there are some people whose body does not
Yeah.
allow them to run. Like they have
Mm-hmm.
talent. Like so in football, there are some players who have perfect skill. Like their ball handling skills are perfect. Their passes are perfect.
Yeah.
It's just that things. Like in sports, there are a lot of factors that hinder some potential.
Okay, so let's say that there was some surgery to fix all that. Like you said, the guy has perfect ball handling, but he can barely run. What if there's some surgery to help him run? I guess. I don't know. Would that
This
be fair?
motherfucker's
Would
thinking.
that be
This
fair?
motherfucker's
Yeah,
thinking. He's thinking of Seabiscuit.
yeah. I'm like, I'm thinking for the
If we
future,
can run again, can we make him run again?
like in future, there will probably be like enhancements like
Yeah.
things
No,
that
that's
give
not fair.
buffs.
That's not gonna be fair.
Remember in Back in the Future, at the year 2000, we're supposed to have flying cars. So
No,
Bullshit.
Rock, it will be like
Dude,
everybody
even
when
before Back to the Future, the Jetsons were saying that.
yeah,
Remember the Jetsons?
yeah.
They said that shit and it never happened.
So it might happen, but not anytime soon. The
one question
latest.
before continuing with this topic,
Go ahead.
the last video I uploaded, did you check that out? How much was it cutting and was it even good?
You were fine last time. Everyone was. Except, no, you left a few times.
N-
That's
n-
why I said I couldn't edit it.
yeah.
Well, Rock said he'd get this.
So
No, I
yeah,
need you
I
to,
upload.
I need one of you to chop it up, to chop the last part off, and I'll edit
Oh,
that, like
okay.
I said.
This nigga.
I was just asking like how was the video? Was it like too bad,
I have.
Yeah, it
unusable?
was the worst video. It was the worst video we ever done, thanks to you, dude.
I
You
haven't looked
fucked
at
it all
it.
up.
I haven't looked at it.
No, it was bad. It was bad because you were stuck. Whenever I was leaving, it was like you guys were stuck.
Every time you left, we cried a little bit. We're doomed. We're not gonna get anywhere like this. Dude, I fucked up worse, okay? It's no big deal. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, what were you saying?
So let's continue. Yes, I'm saying like in future, there are going to be enhancement that everybody will be using.
Yeah, but if everybody's using it, that's one thing. But right now, we in
Mm,
this competition, we have one person that has that what may or may not be a slight advantage, thanks to a
May or
genetic
may not
or
be
a
right.
gender
Yes.
change, thanks to a gender change.
yeah.
Yes, I mean there is already been so much factors that are affecting the sport, so I don't think it's a big deal.
But if she had won,
But
No, especially weightlifters that transition from men to female, they some of them have won, and people always come with this question again,
yeah,
like, is it fair that they had this? Because a
yeah,
lot of
it's
I
people
gonna
mean,
would consider it an
Rook,
advantage.
it's gonna happen in other
Rook, you should
sports pretty
see
soon.
like there was one race where the one guy was Chinese and he was shorter, he was thinner, and he had the unfair advantage. So he had to take more steps in order to run the same kind of distance as the other athlete. So
But
there are already a lot of
Yeah.
factors.
but
But he
that's
still won.
you're
But he
digging
still
too deep.
won.
You're looking
But
way
he
too
still
deep with
won.
that. Come on now, your height
No,
doesn't
No,
mean anything.
but no, no.
yeah,
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Olympics too, and about sports competitions in general. Sports competitions in general, I don't think would be 100% completely even fair. I
yeah,
don't think that's gonna happen ever. And because sports competition also reward as a, how do you say, being the exception. As a, you know what I mean? So it's like I said, even if this guy had the unfair advantage, he won because he's just that kind of athlete. Sometimes it's not about
yeah.
physical, your physical. Sometimes
But
it's
this
about
is
your
you.
will.
This is
So it's really hard to
competition.
measure.
But this
It's
is
really no.
competition.
Listen,
That's my point.
it's really hard to measure a person's will to win,
Yeah,
or whatever's happening at the moment that they somehow win even against all odds.
I
You
agree.
know.
I agree.
So
But
Yeah.
what does she have to do with physical or will? The whole point being is that she was a man and now she's a woman. It has
No,
nothing to do with any of
yeah,
that stuff. If
yeah, but
you're
it's
talking
like
about
no,
birth, you're talking about genetic things that happen as you're born. That you're short. You maybe have to take wider steps when you run. That's one thing. You've
yeah,
been doing that your whole life. Whatever. Nobody cares. Well, we're talking about somebody
yeah, but sports
who
competitions,
completely changed
yeah, but
their
chaos
body
like in UFC they
through
have
surgery.
like why do you think in UFC they started having like different heavyweight stuff and different stuff
That's
because
because of
a
weight classes.
lightweight, yeah, weight classes because it affects like you cannot have, so similarly
But that
height
has
and all
nothing to
those
do.
factors affect,
Height
but
has
in
nothing
these
to do with
places
weight class.
no,
You can have
yeah,
somebody
no,
five
no, no,
six weighing 250.
in racing and all
Uh-huh.
this stuff height is affect, in swimming
It doesn't
height is
affect.
height
These
affects,
are
it
these are
affects.
athletes who've been doing this their
No,
whole life. They know how their
yeah,
body works. They're not
yeah, but
concerned with the
no,
other athletes. They're
I,
concerned with
I,
their
I
own body.
yeah,
So how
I'm
would that
talking
affect
like
them?
no, I'm talking like all of these factors like sports
Uh
have
huh.
already been unfair.
Hey, No, but this is not unfair. This is
No,
completely.
yeah,
This is a different thing. You're talking
the,
about the what? You're talking about genetics, the way people are naturally born
yeah.
and
So
how they produce.
we
That's
yeah
nothing to do with this
we don't have
situation.
a way to measure how every transgender person's body is affecting
That's not
when
the
they
point, though. We're not
transition.
trying to measure it. I'm completely. I'm asking one simple question: Is it
Yes,
fair? I'm asking, is it fair? I say
I
yes or no.
mean, for me, like the
Women to
way
man,
sports
man
are
to woman.
function,
Either way, I don't really care.
it should not matter.
It should
No,
not matter.
listen, listen, chaos.
If she, let's say a woman went to the man route and did all that stuff, but it hadn't been the 3 years or whatever, they have to wait. So she can still compete in the woman section, right? Is that fair?
If she transitions, if she
Yeah, but
gets
they have
everything,
to wait like 3 years or something before they're officially, at least for the Olympics,
yeah.
they have to live with it for 3 years. So let's say it happened like 2 years ago. She hasn't gotten to that 3 years yet, so she competes in the women's side. Is that fair?
Well,
Because she would
but
have been
you're saying
given
they have to wait 3 years.
testosterone. She would have been given a lot of testosterone in transition to becoming a
No,
man.
no, no. Listen, listen. If she goes over a certain limit, she can compete because that's how they measure it.
Uh huh.
So,
So let's say she doesn't go
so
over the. She doesn't go over that limit.
what she can,
Then she can compete.
according to the stipulations, yeah, she can compete.
Okay. And I'm just asking if she won or if the lady who completed this time, if she had won, would that be fair? It's like
You
a
know,
simple yes or no. It's got nothing to do with genetics. It's got nothing to do with
listen.
anything else. I just
You
want a
know
yes
what
or
I
no.
imagine?
I just want a yes or
I
no, honestly.
imagine, I imagine like the head guy of the Olympics, and then some guy comes into this room and said, like, "Sir, we have news. Boys are turning into girls and girls into boys. What do we do?" And he's like, "What? What the fuck are we gonna do now? It's gonna be hard to regulate now
My
with
main
this
point
whole new."
being, like we said, we have men on men, women on women. Like obviously, becoming a trans athlete, it's gonna become more. It's already popular. It's already people are already in transitioning back and forth either ways. So in
And
the
there's a
future,
political
are we
pressure
gonna?
to it. Right? There's a
Yeah,
political pressure to it
yeah.
of
Main
like
issue
Hey,
is
you
the
we
have
don't
to
care.
political
accept
issue.
them.
We don't care about politics here.
No, they do. Do politics affect everything? That
Nah.
even the Olympics, dude. It's not like they can ignore it. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
So my main point being, because I don't care about politics, if in the future, do you think we'll have the men's relay, the women's relay, the trans man relay, the trans woman relay,
I've
or
thought
just the
about that.
trans
Like,
relay?
In
if they're gonna
future,
make a whole separate division for trans people,
Would that
I
be
I
thought about
okay?
mean,
that.
Would that be okay?
if there are too many transgenders, then they might.
What do you
Just
mean by
like there
too
is
many?
Special Olympics.
What do you mean by too many?
I mean, like too many.
What? Oh, what do you mean too many? There's no look. Let them live their lives.
No, what I think is I don't know
No,
how
I'm
some people
saying
would
like
accept that because maybe here's the thing: people could say it's like, oh, why do they get a separate divisions? Are we not human? Because when we transition to a girl, I'm a girl. I don't need to. So I'm a girl, so why can't I compete as a girl?
Yeah,
Why am I like an alien in some sort of other category? I'm a girl,
yeah.
so I could probably see a backlash from that.
So you remember
So I
that?
don't really know what's the best option
You
for it.
remember that South Park episode with what's it? What's that Randy Macho Man Randy Savage? And he's dating the PC principal. All right, he's a PC principal's ex, and she's like, yeah, my ex boyfriend became a woman, and now he's breaking women's records in I believe it was weightlifting all over the world, and just shows him on TV breaking all these records.
Well, here's the thing. I assume this is me because I don't know anything. I don't know much about the whole process and how they measure their exact body compositions in the Olympics. But
Yeah,
if they do start to see an increase of guys becoming trans and only women, it's
as
gonna
it
become a
should.
problem that they're gonna have to regulate.
But
So
but is it really a
I would,
problem?
no. I
Is it
think if
really a
there are too
problem?
many of them, they would just start their own division, and that would be
But
the
how is that fair?
their
That is
approach.
segregation. You're taking us back like 300 years.
I mean, men and women are already in separate sports, so there is already segregation.
I think
You
at the
can't
moment
win
it's
and
kind
lose
of
with it.
tricky. It's a little tricky at the moment for the Olympics to deal with it, and from the backlash they're gonna get from
Yeah,
people
I
regardless.
mean the
But
main
they're
reason the
representing.
people are complaining is politics. Otherwise, they won't even care.
Yeah, they would care. Let's be honest. But they're
No, they won't.
representing all the countries. This is supposed to be the purest competition between all the countries. You
It's
got
already
Armenia,
not purest because some countries have already have like better like
better. Hey, every country can have whatever other
equipments.
countries have. They have their own. A lot of countries have their own monetary value. They can just
Yeah, yeah. It's
just
just
make
that they
stuff,
don't invest. Like
increase
in
taxpayers,
India,
let's put
yeah,
more taxes on the people.
Like in India, you know, the Olympians, like there is one whose job is like she lives in a small hut and she cleans like
Why does her
people's
job matter?
utensils by
Why does her job
working.
matter
No, no,
though?
no, no. Ah, man, you don't fucking listen.
Why do I care about their jobs? I'm here to care about the sport. They're in the
No,
Olympics
And
for a
she's
I'm
reason. I
talking
don't care
about
a
about
how
little
Christian
dog
poor they
that she
are,
Ronaldo.
feeds
how
every
poverty
Monday,
struck they are,
and
how
she likes to
poverty
go
struck
out
they
on
are.
Sundays to
They,
the church.
I'm talking about how poverty struck they are, that they don't have the proper resources or
But she's
anything in
still in the
order to
Olympics, so she's
get
doing
better.
something fine. She can even
And
move
her
it.
favorite food is
She
ramen.
can leave
She
it.
loves ramen.
She can leave India. She chooses to stay there. I don't care what
No,
she does in her real life,
yeah,
but
no,
she's there.
you don't.
If this is her, that's what she loves to do. They compete in whatever she's doing, like that javelin thrower. I don't care if he's homeless and throwing that javelin at turkeys in the forest. Okay, that's what he likes to do, and it's worked for him. Like he can go back and be homeless for the next 4 years. Cool, whatever.
You know what, Chaos?
But does their job matter?
Chaos, I imagine you in jail serving 10 years, and 10 years you're telling yourself, "I'm not in jail. I'm just here because I want to. I chose to be here. This is not jail.
as
This
a
is a facility where I sleep in. This is not jail."
as a child, I watched Prison Break. I'd be like, huh, let me try this. I'd shove a spoon up my
And
ass
then
and
he
be
will
like,
be stuck
I'm
in
gonna dig it through
solitary
the wall.
confinement. And then he will be stuck in solitary confinement.
I saw that episode of Supernatural where Kane came and killed the guy in solitary confinement.
You will die.
The door is just gonna swing open. It's not the guard. Oh god. It's been 10 years. My time has come. But yeah, like what their actual jobs, like you said, they're just Olympic idols. The only time the actual country cares about them once the Winter Olympics ends, then they start caring about the spring Olymp or Summer Olympics. Then they start
Dude,
caring
I
about
don't
them.
care. I don't get if I don't care much for the regular Olympics. I really don't give a fuck about the Winter Olympics.
Winter.
Like I don't do not give a single
Bob,
shit about it.
haven't you seen the Jamaican bobsled team movie?
Yeah, do cool runnings, obviously.
Hey, that's the only thing I care about, and I haven't watched the Winter Olympics in like decades, literally decades, 2 decades.
Dude, yeah,
I
I
only
haven't
care
seen
about
it
cool
in
runnings.
forever.
I root for Jamaica every year, every time they do it. But yeah, what? Why should the country have to give them a better job just for being in the Olympics?
No, not job, resources.
Resources, you can
Yeah,
get
they
resources
should.
easier. They don't.
They should.
They don't
No,
have to stay in their
no.
country,
The
and they
thing
can
is
make it
that no
themselves.
chaos.
Go
Listen,
ahead. Go
listen.
ahead. Go ahead.
People pay money and they are supposed to give. It's just that in India there's too much corruption that people like these politicians are spending more money on advertisement
Yeah.
than on building facilities to help people. Like they spent
What
one
does that have
sixth.
to do with the athlete, though? You're saying they're athletes, but they can't figure out how to train. It may be easier with the help of the government, but they can't do it themselves. They don't have a team.
They can do it themselves, but I think
No, like
their homeland or
resources. They are too
whatever,
poor. It's like
they
living in a
should give them
ghetto.
more resources.
It's like
Yeah.
living in a ghetto, living
Listen,
in a homeless tent. How are you going to practice?
no,
You're homeless.
chaos,
That you're homeless. You have plenty of time to work out. Fuck. You can figure that out too.
chaos. Listen, chaos.
Yes.
Once you like win a gold medal for your country, you become an asset to that country. So it makes sense that they would give you more resources so you can
Yeah, they
improve.
Why
should
would
give
you be
you
an
more.
asset? The same people who are throwing rocks at you for losing, you're an asset for them suddenly.
Listen,
It's
that's
fake
normal
love. That's
human
fake
life.
love.
Look, when you
That's fake
win,
love.
they love you. When you lose, they hate you.
That's not
That's how it
normal.
goes.
That's not normal.
That is normal in sports.
No, it's not.
When
I don't
you're
hate
from the first
anyone I cheer for. They lose, I still cheer for them. They win, I cheer for them the same.
that's what I doubt
You're
it.
saying the
If you
Olympics is full of phonies,
You,
unloyal bastards.
Rock, you should remember this guy does not support team. He supports players. He
Hey,
keeps
I
changing
support
team.
teams.
Yeah,
I've been a fan
man.
of Sacramento Kings the Sacramento Kings since 2003. We lose every single fucking year. I still cheer them on unless they're playing LeBron. I cheer them.
yeah, and if
See,
somebody
that's
fucks up in a
a
game, you call them out on it.
Sorry, what?
On your opinion, if somebody fucks up in a game, a player, let's say the team is winning and a player fucks up, you're gonna probably write somebody about it. This player fucked up, so you do judge
Yeah.
them.
I judge them, but I'm not gonna boo them. I'm be like, you suck. I'm like, hey, it happens. That's what happens. If you ever played sports, I'm like, you both
yeah,
have. I'm
like he
sure
will say,
you
"Fuck you,
understand.
you
Stuff
should die."
happens.
Used to,
I would
he's
never
like,
say
"Fuck you,
I would never say
you should
anyone should
die."
die. That's terrible.
Fuck you, fuck you, you should
That's a
die.
little,
And then he
that's
will
a
say,
little
"It's all
extreme.
right, it's all right. You suck. It's all right to suck."
But let's remember,
Yeah,
how many of these
yeah, but
athletes
chaos.
actually care what they're saying?
Yeah, nobody. But
Some
chaos.
do.
Like
That's why you have
coaching,
mental health
coaching,
issues. That's the real thing about
coaching.
Simone
Yeah,
Biles.
coaching is important as well in a
Eh,
lot of
I'm
sports.
not a coach. I'm not a coach believer. I understand it, but I'm not a coach believer because the players
Like in
play. The
gymnastics,
coaches give the
routines.
plan,
Like routines,
but it's up to
routines
the
are planned
players.
by coach, and
Yeah,
then players perform
but the
based
players
on
have
those
to. It's up to
routines.
the players in the end. The players gotta do it all.
Yeah, so
The
routines.
coach can't put something
So
in there, the
you
player
need a
can't do.
routine. You need a routine. Coaches are
But it
important.
doesn't matter what the routine is if
Coaches
the
are
player can't do
important.
it. If the player
Which
doesn't
player has
perform it, it doesn't matter.
coaching is important. LeBron James probably
And
has
no,
a coach as well.
every player has every athlete, even a non-athletes, anyone that does any sort of competition, they all have somebody. But it's up to the
They-
person, the team, whatever, not the coach to perform.
Yeah,
Like
but
this year in
their coaching helps. Their coaching helps them
okay,
perform. It
so
builds a
this year in the
foundation.
NBA,
It helps them
this year,
keep.
hold on. This year in the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks, we started out terrible. We were like 20 and like 6 or something. They fired their coach. Suddenly we lose like 13 games for the rest of the season and we make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Their main
That is
reason being
different.
the
That
old
is
coach. No,
they're
it's all because of the coach because they fired the coach. They brought in
yeah
a new
their
coach
coaching.
and then they all started doing good.
Yeah, it's because that kind of coaching
That's
is like
because the
tactical.
players did not
But
perform well.
every yeah,
That
but
has
every
nothing to do
player
with the
has
coach.
individual. But
Like,
every player
why are
has
you giving so
individual
much?
trainers and everything.
No,
You don't know about
no.
those things.
I do know about those things. I watch too many sports. The
You
coach
watch
does
team
not.
sports. I'm talking
I
about
watch
individual
individual
sports where
sports.
coaching are
Yeah.
important. Where coaching
Coaching
is
is never.
important.
It's always about the player. Coaching is a part of it. Don't get me wrong. Coaching is a part
Yeah.
of it, but it's not the. It's not as important as you're saying it is. It's about the individual's performance at the end. When it comes to it, it's about
You
the
are not
individual
saying this. So
performance.
I mean, you are basically saying like, hey, make your own bow and arrow, make your own
You can't
boat
make
and
your own.
practice
You're talking
culling.
about people not getting handouts from their country. They can do that themselves. They're
Handouts.
relying
Every
on their
country is
country.
getting.
You're
Every
saying these
country
people
is
are
getting
homeless and
handouts. Every country. How
fair.
the fuck? How
Hey,
the fuck are
hey,
they going to
you're
compete?
talking.
How the fuck
You're
are
talking
they
about the
going to compete
individual
to other country
athletes.
that is giving
Hey,
handouts?
I'm
You are
confused by
basically
what you're
saying, hey
yelling
buddy,
about because you're not
hey
saying anything
buddy.
different. You're saying the same thing. So listen for a second.
No, I'm saying
Let me
that
talk.
if
You've been
other
talking a
country,
lot. Let me talk for a
you're talking
second.
about
You
fair.
can talk once I'm done. Hold on. You are saying the end of, like you said, the javelin thrower and whatever lady you were talking about who's homeless or is like she works like a nurse or something, whatever the fuck.
Hey,
They're not getting the stuff from their country that help them perform better. That has nothing to do with them. If the country's not giving it to them, this is what they do for a living. Not only being
no,
homeless, but
no,
they're
no, no.
also doing whatever the Olympic training
No,
is.
this is not
There's
what they
so
do for
many
living.
ways they
They
can get it
work
done.
hard for living.
And
They
you're saying
don't
they can't
compete.
get it unless the country helps them.
No, no, no.
That's
You're
ridiculous. That's a
competing.
fucking
What
joke.
the fuck? You don't even understand what the fuck I'm talking
You
about here.
literally just said that. Say
No,
it again.
you have
Say it
no
again.
fucking clue.
You can't even
Because
talk
in
about yelling
no,
because you
yeah,
feel like you're not being
I-
heard. Talk with a
in
calm voice.
America,
Take a deep
in
breath. Take a deep breath and
tell
speak.
me, see now when I'm
Take
speaking,
a deep
you're
breath and speak.
continue fucking
Because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to
yeah, yeah,
listen.
yeah.
Go ahead. Talk.
Listen, shut
Talk.
up. You guys, shut up, both of you. Shut up for a second.
Yes, sir.
Now go ahead, Ash.
yeah. So what?
That's why we need
Okay.
refs. Fuck a coach.
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm saying is, like in America, you have regular sports where
It's not.
people are
What's
competing, and that's their main profession,
the fuck's
right?
regular, nigga?
That's their main profession.
It's the
Uh,
same sports all over the world. Be okay. Okay, go ahead.
no, so
Go
these
ahead.
people, their full-time job is being an athlete.
Okay.
So they are competing. They are giving all these
The Olympic
resources, like they
athletes
work for
is their
teams.
full time job.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. You didn't know about that?
Okay.
Like
No,
they have
no, no. That
regular
was a
sports and
sarcastic.
everything.
Okay. That was a sarcastic. Okay. But continue.
Yeah, in
Continue.
India, those sports are not regular sports. A lot of
Okay.
sports they don't have sporting competition. So all these
Okay.
people, this is the job they do when Asian Games come, when Olympic Games come,
All right.
because
I
that's the
understand.
only time they compete.
Okay.
Rest of the time, in order to survive, they do different jobs.
Okay. What does that have to do with anything?
No, so
That
you are
would affect
talking.
the training.
This is a competition.
That would affect their straight. That would affect their training. If they had some sort of, they have some sort of like country program where they could focus only on being an athlete, they would perform better.
The nigga just won gold for javelin throwing. What did he have? You said he was homeless. What did he have?
This is, you don't stay at the top forever. Even
No, no,
if she
no.
Yeah,
did the rest of
How
the
did he win?
year,
How did he
she
win
has to do
gold?
better the next year.
Look, Ash, you said so much about the Olympics. You got your facts straight. You're telling us like where this nigga
And he
lives.
didn't even want
Okay,
to talk
okay.
about the Olympics.
Seriously,
He was the one that said I didn't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about the Olympics. No,
I
I'm not
didn't want to
this.
talk about it. He won't shut up about it, about the
This.
technicality of it. About you, dude, come on.
Yeah, he's being a disunder. He's just like, I don't want to do this, and he's coming out with all this shit. But yeah, so how did he win gold? So this guy that won the javelin throwing contest,
I
three
was.
years he has nothing. So suddenly he wins. It's not because the guy got injured. He still won. So what did India or whatever? How did he win this?
Yeah, but chaos. Sometimes, like once in a lifetime stuff happens. Sometimes a small team beats a big team. So that's not going to happen again and again. If you want that to happen, if
That's
someone
not
has
even what
talent,
I
so he
asked. I asked how he won. How did he train? You're saying he
he
trained for
trained.
1 year and he won?
Yeah, yeah.
So the other 3 years he was just sitting in his little box on the streets with people
He
throwing
was,
rocks
he,
at him,
He
he
was
was
doing
running
whatever
after
the god
chickens.
he was doing. Yeah.
throwing his sticks at chickens.
Yeah, yes, that's how Rocky trained, and he beat Draco. Draco had like a full gym, and Rocky was chasing chickens, and he won.
Dra- Drago, he was cooking his eggs. Rocky was like, nah, I'll just drink them. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
it was his drink time. He didn't even cook it, and he still won. Listen, I understand you guys both of you guys point, and they do have each of them has merit because I guess Chaos is saying the main star, the main focus, or the main drive comes from the athlete himself, which I agree with. But if you become an asset to your country, like a great athlete for your country, I do think they should help you out and give you more resources
But
so
you
you
do
can be better
realize,
and better.
They
but you
already are
do
cutting
realize how
tax money. They already are taking tax money. These fucking politicians are already taking tax money in order to make the infrastructure and everything. And what they are doing, they are putting billboards with their photo and the name of the guy is there and their photo is there, and everybody is like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, but well, I forgot what I was
It's
gonna say
like
because Ash interrupted me.
And when you think about coaching too, I would agree. Sometimes the coaching is like a very how do I say? It's like a not a definite factor because some coaches are really bad coaches. I think Jason Kidd become a coach and he
Yeah,
didn't do it well. He was a great player, a great captain as a player, but as a coach, he didn't succeed.
yeah.
So you don't really know how much that God is going to affect you. But then you look at Phil Jackson and how he helped Chicago win all those years. You can say he was a big factor in them winning too.
He also
Obviously,
turned
they
out to
had
be
Jordan.
racist.
What?
He also turned out to be racist. Who would have thought?
who?
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, what's his face? Not Pippin wrote a book and he was like, yeah, Phil Jackson's a racist.
Dude, don't listen to Pippen. Pippen talks a lot of shit. Okay? He's always telling about some shit, and he's always sucking up to Michael because he's afraid Michael's gonna turn it on him, one day. But
Yeah.
sometimes coaches do matter. Like I heard Steve Kerr was a great coach for Golden State. He was a shitty player, but apparently he was a good coach.
Yeah, he
You
was a
know what
good
I mean?
shooter. He was a good shooter.
He was a good, yeah, but he wasn't like a star player. So even if you're the star player on your team, it doesn't mean you're gonna make a good coach in the future. You
Star
could be a bench warmer, and you could
star
have a
players
better mind.
Star players are the worst coaches because they're like, yo, just jump 13 feet in the air and dunk it.
How hard is that? I did it.
Look, just pass me the ball. I'll shoot it. That's all you gotta do. You're the coach.
I literally have the uniform under the suit. I'm ready to go. But coaching do matter sometimes, dude, because
just
like,
not just not during the actual game or performance. That's what I'm saying. During the game or performance, it all comes down to the players. Because the coach, he can make plays, he can
Yeah,
tell them
but
what to do, but
to be in the top performance, you have to practice that day in and day out.
yeah, when that comes to the player or the performer, whoever, that becomes to them, the athlete. The coach
Yeah,
will
so
be there and help them, but
so for that, like if you have like if you have like regular events like countries investing in or organizing interstate sports or something like that, then they would practice it
experience.
day in and day out, and then they would get paid for it as well, so then they would definitely perform better. But if you are training for 1 year only and not doing anything for the rest of the time, so your performance is affected.
I
you know
mean,
what?
Also, like it's like there's a team that has like the best resources available, and those players are giving it all, and then there is this underdog on the other side who has nothing.
Listen, I'm
Good
gonna
movie plot, but
but
I'm gonna have to side a little bit with chaos over here because I do think the individual capacity of the player is more important. Because if you have a star player, your job as a coach is to
not even a
probably
star
build.
player, a regular player. It's the same thing.
No, but no, let's say you have a star player and he gets his confidence from arrogance. He's a ball holder, but the guy is an asset to your team, right? As a coach, the best thing you can do is build a team around him and use his strengths for yourself. Learn how to use the player. Like I remember seeing a card from Allen Iverson, and at the back it said something that his coach said, and it said one of the best things about Allen Iverson is that he thinks he can take the whole team by himself, and that's something I don't want to take away from him.
He can.
That's something he coach. That's something the coach said about him. So he saw how Aaron like how he played, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna work around that. You know what I mean? But I do think the player's skill is more important than everything, and you sort of
is
need to
there
build a team around them.
is there any coach in basketball that had like a shit team but his tactics were spot on and they won?
Oh yeah.
Detroit, I think that's how Detroit
Detroit.
won when they won.
Yeah, because they were all defense mostly. But yeah, Detroit. Detroit Pistons in 2004 or 2003. Right? I think it was 2003.
Yeah,
Yeah, Detroit. And even the shit, this the well, they didn't win the playoffs, but the San Antonio Spurs, the last 3 years they've been dog shit. They made the playoffs once, I think, but that one year they made the playoffs, they were dangerous and they were terrible.
Which team has the best coach right now?
The best coach, the Lakers, they have LeBron James. The best coach, people would say Greg Popovich of the San Antonio Spurs. Some will say Steve Kerr, even though he can't coach without his star players. Yeah, those are like
That's
one from San Antonio was pretty good because, to my knowledge, San Antonio has always landed on a good spot, like almost every year.
they get
Make
drafts
it to
good players.
they either make it to the playoffs every year or they come really close to it. So that's a sign of good coaching.
so if let's say there is a good let's so why don't anybody had a coach from San Antonio Spurs, like get
Because
him on the team with star players so he can coach them and get
well,
better
he
results?
loves foreign players. Let's be honest, but yeah, look, NBA is simple. They're gonna play with who they want to play. The coach plays a factor. If you're like
Yeah.
really good, you'll be like, hey, if I like that coach, I'll go with him. But usually they just go where they want it. They don't care who the coach is.
Oh, Also for drafts, how does drafts work in is it like in football whenever there's a transfer window, so they decide, the team that has the player decides the fee. Like let's say they want to send a player for 100 million because it's too good, so they will decide the other team has to pay. So in draft, how does that work? Like star players, how do they save their star players from signing another team?
Free agency. So they have restricted free agency, which means they can match any offer that any other team gives them. If not that,
Okay.
then
Yeah.
it's unrestricted, and they just gotta hope that the player stays. They might sign other
And
players
what are
that they want, but they can still leave.
And what are the regulation on wages and transfers? Like
They
if one team has too much money, so they can buy all the star players if they want.
salary cap's like
Dude, that's been the Lakers.
180 or
The Lakers
190
always
million.
get the Lakers always have an all-star team. Basically,
Yeah,
they hire the best players.
yeah, but so a lot salary cap is like 180 to 195 million. So you got to make your way up to that pretty much. And usually the star players they're
Okay.
getting around 30 million. Your average players now they're getting around 20. Well, star players are getting like 30, 40. Your average players is like in the 20 range, and your trash players are like 10 and single digit millions. So usually, yeah,
Oh, so they have like a limit. Like all
yeah.
your wages combined could only be this much.
You can only have 15 players per team at minimum 12, so you gotta make your way up to the total. You can do like a
Okay.
hard cap. You can do the bird rights to make kind of like iffy things, but yeah.
I don't know. Going back to the Olympics, I don't know if gymnasts or those runners are getting paid those kind of amounts. I think
No, no,
uh,
no one gets
they're
paid
probably
for that
hitting one
sport.
million or two, maybe.
Not even, not even, man. Let's be honest. Like, because all their stuff, the only time you hear about them is about the individual
Olympics,
competitions,
yeah.
like outside the Olympics, like those individual competitions. It's like the weightlifting, like the strongman competition. They just work out till they get to that, and that's where they make their money from those competitions. It's the same
And
thing.
mostly, I
Just
think they are famous in their local area, so local sponsors, and they would try
yeah,
to hire them.
like last said earlier, like you win your gold, you do become like a thing for your country. That's why like Simone
Mm.
Biles, you hear about her because she won gold when she was like in her teens, and she's
That's the
black.
little black girl, right? Yeah, little black girl
Yeah, the
Yeah.
that
queen.
jumps like crazy. That's
Yeah,
like a crazy vertical dude. She jumps.
yeah, and she's a
She
queen.
could dunk probably NBA. I mean, when
Nah,
she, she
she's like 5'2", maybe 5'4".
No, 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 no. What the fuck? She's tall, man.
You know her
The
height too.
Sunili and
What the
others
fuck?
are small.
You know her
she's
height?
tall for your standards, okay? Yeah, she's tall for your standards, like regular people standards. She's
Yeah,
short, okay?
yeah. Like I don't see her as
I
tall
mean,
as five
she
six or 5'7".
No, the thing
holy
is,
fuck, she's tall only.
I've seen her do like the floor routines, and when they do the floor
She's
routines,
4 feet
Yeah.
8 inch. She oh fuck. You know why I thought she was taller? Because she was taller than Sunili, but it's just that it was comparison. She's just 4 feet 8 inch. Fuck.
See, okay. See, Ash,
yeah, but when
you're not an Olympic Google guy. Look at you. You don't even know everything. She's
when
fucking.
when they
She's
do
your height. Jeez.
when they
But
do
I'm
the
5'8".
when
But
they do
she's
the thing in the floor, they usually gather some momentum by running and doing a lot of flips. And
Yeah.
when she does that, she has like one of the highest jump I ever seen on a gymnast. Like she really gets up there, that little black girl,
Yeah.
and she looked amazing doing it.
She's been
Honestly,
she's been doing it since she was like born. She probably came out the womb like that, just
like
jumping
she
out and
puts a
flipping.
lot of power into her launch. She puts a lot of power, and she looks great doing it, dude.
Yeah. And when she's not training for the Olympics, she's still doing it. You can practice, even if you have a facility, even if you don't, you can still work on it.
but
I'm just saying.
but man, I never thought that they could be, like black people could be that small.
This nigga, what the man? You're right.
What?
Look, people of no matter what race, they're short and tall. Look at Yao
You
Ming.
don't
He's
know.
fucking
You don't
five.
know
Yao Ming's
You don't
six
know
eight.
Muggsy Bucks, dude. You don't know Muggsy Bucks.
Yeah,
That's a shame,
Muggsy
dude. Or
Bogues.
Spud Webb.
What was he?
Yeah,
Was he 5'4" or 5'6"?
he was like 5'4", dude, or
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
he dunked. Oh no, Spud Webb. Spud Webb dunked. No, no,
Spud Webb did, yeah.
yeah, not Muggsy. But yeah, there's look. No matter your race, You can be short or tall. Sometimes it's genes. Like Anthony Davis, he was 6'3" in high school. In like his sophomore year, his senior year, he was 6'11". His
Dude.
parents are like 5'10", both. So like, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Some people just go through shit. Like people have
Like I
genetics.
said, dude, listen. When it comes to sport or anything in life, it's really hard to measure an individual's will and how
Yeah.
everything is gonna affect. Like, haven't you seen this? Like, the doctor told him he wasn't gonna live. Every doctor told him he wasn't gonna live, and he survived somehow. Like, how come everybody said he was gonna die? So how come he didn't die? You can't really explain it. Something has to do with willpower, I guess. Other has to do. It's really hard to tell what makes somebody special like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like especially like with sports, like you guys watch UFC or boxing?
I watch a little bit boxing. I follow
Only
more.
WWE I
Okay, look
watch.
at Manny Pacquiao.
Oh,
Who
that's
fought this
funny.
guy?
Yeah, dude.
He's
He
like
was like a little whirlwind of punches. Like he was funny.
but he can knock you out. And
Yeah,
look at Floyd Mayweather. He's the same size. He's actually shorter and he's
dude. I
tinier,
love it.
but he's just like he blocks. He won't knock you out, but he'll still beat you. Like you can't.
He
Sports,
will
it's a
enjoy.
lot of
He
practice.
will tire you out, and then he will start shit talking, and
Now
then
that
he
little
will
pussy's just gonna
wait
he's
for.
just gonna guard his face
Listen,
the whole game and then just throw a cheap punch. Fuck Floyd Mayweather.
I think his personality is not my favorite, but in terms of a boxer, I think he's a really
Nah.
great boxer.
He decided to fight Manny Pacquiao when he was a senator. He was retired from boxing. He decided to fight him when he was a senator in his country.
Manny Pacquiao and Manny
He has a
Pacquiao
great
is
defense,
also.
dude.
Bro, he didn't choose. He could have fought Manny when they were both active fighters, but he was like, I'm scared. He barely beat
I
Logan Paul. He
I
barely beat Logan
wish.
Paul.
No, listen, okay. I didn't even see that fight. Okay, let's not even mention it. That didn't
What?
happen. Okay.
I thought that it was
Uh,
a draw.
You
I thought it
watched it,
was a
Ash?
draw.
Look at this dude.
No,
He's watching YouTube fighters.
I heard it.
Yo,
Rogue said that it was a draw, if I recall correctly.
no, I think
a
no
what?
matter they didn't have an official judge, so no matter what, it would have been a draw.
No, no, dude. I remember I watched the first KSI Logan Paul with Chaos. I remember we're watching at the same time. But that's the only one that I sort of got in
You
the
guys
hype train
paid
about
for
it,
it?
and then
Same.
You
all the
guys
other
paid
ones are
for
like
it?
a joke.
I tried to steal it
No,
on
wait,
YouTube.
that, of course not, stupid ass. Why would we pay for it?
Look,
We watched it on some. I don't remember when, but we watched
no,
it. I remember.
he watches it. I would obviously pay. I always pay
Bullshit,
when
dude. You
this
didn't
guy,
pay.
he's a thief.
Bullshit.
This guy below me, he's a thief.
Bullshit.
I would pay. You can believe me. I would pay. I got
Manny
money on
Pacquiao.
Funko Pops. I'll pay for a stream.
By the way, Chaos, if let's say six
Mm.
Yes, sir.
people are approaching in order to kill you, how will you take them
Sorry,
down?
what? Say that again.
Six people are coming towards you to kill you,
From the front or back?
and you
Or are they surrounding me?
front,
They're all coming from the front.
front.
What's around me?
Yeah,
Am I in my car?
wall.
Just a
No.
wall? I'm just walking and six people are just
Yeah.
start walking up. I'm sitting in the corner and six people just start walking up to me and they got me. Hey, it's
Yeah,
easy. So what are the sizes of these people? They're all like big dudes,
they're taller.
taller, bigger than
Yeah.
me. Okay, I'll fight.
Some are taller, some are same size.
Okay, I will fight. What
How
do
will
I?
you take them down?
Okay,
You
so
have
which
nothing.
one
You
comes up
just
to me
have.
first? Which one comes up to me first?
All of them are coming at you. They're not doing one by one.
But I'm stuck in a corner pretty much. So one of them's gonna have to be the first to throw a punch,
No, the corner is big enough. Like it's
so they can surround
broad.
me
Like it's
and just kind of
yeah,
move in close to me. Okay.
yeah.
Hey, nut shot first. Take nut shot on the tall one.
You,
A nut
and
punch,
then they will,
particularly, because his dick will be closer to my
and
face.
then get beaten up by the rest of them.
Hey, I've been punched before. If you can't take a punch, that's on you. Get punched and move. You just have to
I
get
mean,
one
to be
person
honest,
to kind of shift out the way
after
and make a run.
uh, after the third punch, you will stop feeling the pain.
Nah, I literally got socked right. I got uppercutted right on my jaw when I was high school. It was
Then
hot. It
you,
was hard, and I stood there and I was like, "What the fuck?"
to be honest, when you are hit at the chin, your leg will go weak,
My legs
according
didn't
to
go
Joe
weak.
Rogan.
It depends how hard it is, but yeah.
According to Joe Rogan.
And he does know. He was
he,
on Fear Factor.
Listen. If it was me and there's like six guys coming to me, I would just
yeah.
drop a grenade and do a triple backflip out of there. Easy.
Grenade
And
jump.
they blow up. Yeah, grenade jump, bro. Like in Fortnite. I just do a Fortnite jump and
Bro,
just get out of there.
did you
But
just
I
say
just built.
Fortnite? That's Halo. What the fuck? Fortnite? Oh my god, you're so cringe. Yo,
Almost a
did you hear that they're thinking about with all these different sports they are adding to the Olympics that they're gonna eventually add a e-game esports
Game.
Olympics into the Olympics?
fucking A, dude. I would love for that to happen,
So
honestly.
would you watch that more than you watch the regular Olympics if they were to do that?
Yeah, especially if it's Rocket League
Yo,
or
yo.
Street Fighter,
How can I
Mortal
get Puerto
Kombat.
Rico citizenship? I'm pretty sure if I can get that, I can compete in Olympics for Puerto Rico in games.
They got
There's a Puerto Rican fighter game called PR Balrog. He's Puerto Rican and uses Balrog on Street Fighter, and he's pretty great.
I just need to be the seventh best gamer in Puerto Rico, and I'll be able to catch
No,
this.
listen, dude. Listen, dude. Even the guy at 10th place thinks he's gonna be number one. Okay, you have to have the confidence that you're the best. That's why those people make it there. You think people are like, I just kind of want to make it in the middle. They're not gonna get anywhere. They don't have to drive to get there, dude.
yeah.
Okay,
Like
you.
I recently saw a video on YouTube of you know what DreamCon is? It's like the
No.
black people of YouTube all coming together with fans, and they have this thing in Atlanta. So
Why is it called DreamCon? I thought
because the
it was
people
a.
who host it
You
are
can't call it BlackCon.
the
Okay,
people
it wouldn't be right to call it BlackCon.
the
Okay,
people
that's really the main reason.
the
Acon,
group that
Acon,
host
Acon.
the
They can
group that
call it
host it.
Acon.
The one of their dream is part of their thing. The group that hosts it. So there's this thing. They have a Super Mario Bros. Smash competition. The guy who won it, he pretty much lives with professional Smash players,
Yeah.
and everyone else is casual. So yeah, it's like anything, like with sports, any competition, video games. If you don't believe you're gonna win, you ain't gonna win. Come on now, that's the first thing.
Yeah, dude. Let's listen. I've seen documentaries on Stockton, John Stockton, and the Jordan one. And when people talk about them, they'll tell you he's straight up an asshole. He's the most competitive person you'll ever meet. If you try to race with him to the water fountain,
Dude,
he'll
have
beat
you
you every
seen?
time. Like
Have you seen
they
that?
want to win at everything, dude. That's the mentality they have. That's why they tend to be the top players because they have that drive, and it's an arrogant and selfish drive.
They made an SNL one with Key and Peele guy.
What happened?
Peele.
I don't watch SNL.
No, they like this Peel was there and they made one SNL version of that.
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't even watch The Last Dance. So
And he was like competing. He started
You
competing.
should watch it, guys. It's pretty good.
I don't give two fucks about Michael Jordan if it ain't Space Jam. That bitch can fuck off.
Why?
He insulted Charles Barkley because he's a little sensitive ass bitch. I want nothing to do with him.
But if you watch
Chaos
I
is the Charles
burned.
Barkley guy.
I am. I loved. I did. Obviously, I didn't watch him play, but I've seen some stuff on YouTube and on TV.
Motivational. What was that motivational thing you were telling about like for 10 days? Like the Barkley quote. Like Charles Barkley said this. And you were just repeating it again and again
I
every
am not a
fucking
role
day.
model.
Yeah, I think it
classic
was
comedy
like
too.
he was
That's a classic,
Charles
yeah.
Barkley said this,
I
and
am
I
not
was
a
like,
role model. You can't say that no more. But yeah, Barkley was great. He's only like 6'6", and he was playing a fucking center power forward.
Yep. Playing power forward.
Hey, and he made it to the finals twice, I think, and lost both
And
times.
he was a good power forward
Yeah,
too. And the guy
he's
couldn't. It's amazing. Sometimes you see some of his plays. The guy can barely dribble,
hmm
and he somehow gets in there. just
He
by
was
by
fat.
brute force.
He had hops and he was fast and he was fat.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing when he retired. I remember I watched in the NBA and TNT like this second season he joined, so I saw some of the highlights from that. Like it's amazing that he actually how fat he actually got once he retired. Cause he was
You
big.
know that
He was big his last few
I
years, but damn.
I gotta say it's a shame that those athletes on the Olympics don't get paid more. Even if you
See,
most of the time you don't even know them. If it's not the American athlete, you don't even know the other athletes by their regular name, by their individual name.
yeah.
You just know the team they play from.
So
So
with you know Mark
So
Henry
so
right
what
from
so what
WWE,
was this? Yeah,
Olympic gold medalist.
yeah.
He
Kurt
left that
Angle.
shit too because and Kurt Angle too, yeah. They left that shit because yeah, obviously they don't make any money from it. Like the only
Yeah.
reason Kurt Angle joined WWE was for the money to begin with. He liked it, but he wanted the money. They don't make anything from it.
yeah, I think
Uh, uh,
there's some Rocket
what
League
was
players
this?
that used to play professional and they started streaming because they make more money streaming. They make a better brand streaming than actually playing for the
Yeah,
Rocket League. For the Rocket League.
because if you're a fan of the thing, you're gonna keep up with it and support whoever you like. Oh,
Yeah.
but only relying on competitions, obviously, like with UFC, you got so many fighters in the UFC who are like in debt and they can't make money because they only fight what 3 4 times a year, and half that money goes to their whole team and traveling and all that shit, and they get a little bit. So it makes sense to go into other forms of revenue instead of doing that.
Y-
But it
Yo,
makes
chaos.
yeah.
What was the feud between Jordan and Barkley?
So Charles Barkley, he's a broadcaster on TV, and he said something
Yeah.
about Jordan, and Michael Jordan got mad that he said it, and he pretty much blocked his phone number and didn't talk to him for like 4 years.
What did he say though?
I forget. They you can find it on YouTube. They talked about it a bunch, but it was
I
just
thought
about
they were friends
it was
again.
a,
I thought they were on good
but
terms.
it was about the Charlotte Hornet. You know how Michael Jordan owns the Charlotte Hornets? He said Michael Jordan was like a bad owner or something because he's a
Oh
terrible
shit.
owner, and then Jordan cut him off there. I can't remember if
Yeah, sissy.
I think they've talked a few
What?
times
Oh,
since, but yeah, it was like 4 years.
what
They
a
ain't spoke.
fucking sissy. That sissy move.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's a little
Like,
bitch.
who the fuck is like, oh my god, she talked about me on live television like
Michael
that?
Jordan.
Fuck him.
Hey, Michael Jordan. Look, Charles Barkley does that for every NBA athlete. He's done it to LeBron James a lot, and they still are kind of friendly. LeBron James will talk back and
Shaq does
say,
that too, right? Shaq does that too
"Yeah,"
sometimes.
but the athletes are sensitive, but they kind of understand that's their job. Michael Jordan's not an athlete anymore. He's an old, crippled man. He's an old man with
Yeah.
terrible shoes.
And I was just looking at Charles Barkley. It says that Michael Jordan bribed him 20,000 diamond earring.
And like
What?
Draymond Green.
I heard the name.
So him and Charles Barkley, because Barkley was saying stuff about him, they were arguing for like literally like 2 straight years. But now Draymond Green comes on the show and fills in, and him and Charles are buddies. Like it's one of those things. Like it's one thing you say it on air, but they keep that same energy in real life to what they say. So it's not just for show. Like you know how some people on like ESPN they just say stuff just for views. Charles Barkley says
You know
Yeah,
something
like
what?
that,
to help them,
like
and
that,
they
like
cut him
that
off.
mustache guy. What is his name? The
Stephen A.
guy
Smith,
everyone hates.
the white guy.
What? Who?
I don't know. Mustache.
There's, yeah, mustache guy.
I don't know that. I do know that
Kevin
sometimes
Hart. Kevin Hart roasted him as well.
You gotta be more specific.
I do I do know that sometimes even if you're in a show or whatever, you just have to say something that's real
Yeah,
because it's been bothering you for real, and you're like, dude, I'm just gonna say it. Fuck it. I know it's gonna cause me problems or whatever. You gotta be real sometimes, you know.
yeah. But especially, but like I said, athletes they think they're the best at what they do, so they don't like that criticism. Some people take it better than others.
And there's personal bias too, because if you have some players Like who's the best player? Some would say Michael Jordan, others would say Magic Johnson,
Stupid
and
question.
others would say,
Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he talks all the time. Like half of his shit
well,
is like,
I don't think anybody has a problem with Steven. He's
yeah,
pretty all right.
yeah, he's cool. It's a white guy. What's his name? It's a white guy. He used to be on the
Ernie,
show.
Ernie something.
No, hey,
Scott
Ernie's
Van
insane.
Scott Van Pelt.
No,
No,
Ernie's awesome.
no, he has hair. He used to be on a show with Stephen A. Smith called First Take. He's a troll.
Chris Fowler.
No. I follow him
Mike
on Twitter.
Greenberg.
Nah, not Mike.
Chris Berman.
Nah, his name. I think his name starts with an. Shit, I forgot.
Mike Golick. John Buckygrass. Reese Davis. Tony Kornheiser. Dan Patrick.
The fuck? Just naming people now.
Yeah. Kirk Herbstreit.
You haven't said his
Keith
name.
Oberman.
He's got such a. I know his name, but he's like a professional troll. He's a sports troll.
Mel Keeper. Max Kellerman.
No, not Max.
Lee Corso.
The guy before Max.
Mel Keeper.
Ah,
Mike Tirico.
I'm looking for this shit. Where the fuck is it? Where's
Bill Simmons. Tom
No.
Rinaldi.
He's a white guy.
Is he like a white guy that
old.
tries to like all sophisticated, but he likes to instigate shit?
Yes. He always makes fun of LeBron.
I'm naming all the white guys.
I think I know who he is, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, I'm.
Kenny Mayne, Joe Tessitore, Adam Schefter,
No,
Charlie Steiner,
like I'll know it when I hear
Dick
it.
Vitale, and the list ended. Charlie Steiner, Dick Vitale, Kevin Negandhi.
Oh my god,
I
no.
didn't say it. What is his name? He's on a show right now with that football player.
I named everyone, fucker.
You didn't. Oh, Oh, I see his picture. But where's his name? I literally see his picture.
Picture search. Use that.
Skip Bayless. There we go.
Wow.
That took a lot. Skip Bayless.
That didn't pay off, honestly, at the end.
He's one of those hosts he says shit that he doesn't mean. He just says it for views.
And that's a person that does that too. He's always inflammatory with his shit. He's always talking about his ass.
Mhm.
I forgot his name.
Magic Johnson?
No, dude, Magic Johnson's a sweetheart. Okay, every time I see Magic,
Bro,
Magic,
the
he's like,
Lakers fired him. Because
dude,
he's trash. He's trash.
listen. I'm pretty sure the kind of age that he has made him immortal. I think Magic Johnson has immortal age.
I'm pretty
Because that dude doesn't
positive.
die.
I'm pretty positive.
Yeah, he's positive.
And he's a scumbag for not telling people.
He's not a
He
scumbag.
cheated on his wife and spread that shit. He's a
Well,
scumbag.
that's a scumbag move.
He is a
Okay.
scumbag.
Painless.
Yeah, but yeah,
Man, dude looks like
the Joker.
somebody put a. He's like a aged moldy bread. A white bread.
You know,
Bro, he,
thinking about the esports, if they do add esports, I wonder if they're gonna add FIFA, and they're gonna have the real life version of soccer, and then the video game version of it. It's gonna be kind of weird.
I think that if they do that, it'd be great for video games because they'd have to improve it. Because there's so many games that are kind of trash. They're the same thing every year. They'd have to literally improve it just to display it to the people in the Olympics, the people who don't normally play it. You know?
Yeah, they already do that. They already balance games out so they can use them in competitions.
They need to
Yo,
better.
Rock, don't you think games should be free if they have so many fucking in-app purchases? Like
Yes,
first you
bro,
have to pay
nigga.
for the game, then you have to pay for everything.
You don't.
No, Ash, you know what? It depends on the kind of game. If you want a multiplayer kind of game where you just want everybody to join in, something like Fortnite, the best model would probably be to make it free and add in-game purchases. However, if you want single player games like God of War, those you should sell. You know what I mean? Because it's not the same thing as a multiplayer.
And what about I'm
So you're
talking
not
about something like NBA.
NBA 2K.
You gotta buy it, even though
They
it's
don't
free.
have to. They could, but they don't have to because people are just gonna buy NBA 2K regardless.
It shouldn't be
I
free.
got one for free.
You gotta
I got one
remember,
for free.
you gotta support your developers. They're the ones who put all that work.
Also,
The
also
company
I've heard
shouldn't just
them.
give them a big salary for for a free game. They're the game that's finished. Yeah, they get their salary, but they get more money by the game being bought and paid for. That's free games. People download free games and then delete them all the time. Games you buy, you're gonna play a
Yeah,
little bit longer.
that's true.
So you are
Uh,
not going to pay, and you still got money from them.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you are not even going to play, at least you purchase the game, so they got money from you.
Why would you buy it and not play it? What the fuck?
yeah, if you play it, what
Like
about
you
it?
just buy and you don't play.
You
It
weird.
happens.
Who does that? What the
No,
fuck?
that's kind of
You
weird.
rich. Ash rich.
No, like you are just bored. You don't want to play that game because it's
No, maybe no. Listen, maybe you played it and didn't like it.
Yeah, and
That
then
that I can understand, but not
see,
playing it ever after you buy it, that's kind of weird.
see,
I imagine it happens, but it's kind of weird.
it's very weird. It's one thing just to download a free game and never open it. It's another thing to pay for a free game pay for a game and never open it.
I wonder though if they do add esports to the Olympics, and let's say that the esports aspect of it turns out more viewers. I wonder if the other side of the Olympics is gonna get like jealous and start shit talking them. Because imagine you're a soccer player and people are tuning in more into a video game about soccer than the actual game about soccer.
They, they
That's
already
kind of
they already are technically. Like I know as big as soccer is in Europe, so look at Twitch. Like they're getting their views up there, and just for FIFA. Whenever FIFA comes out, that's where all their views go. It's gonna die out quick, but people look at that. But
I mean, people who cannot watch it.
I imagine it'd be like the Winter and Summer Olympics thing. They have like a fall or spring esports thing. It's like 1 year summer, 2 years later winter. In between there, you got your esports. I don't see them doing it with the other Olympics.
okay. I want to ask you though, if you guys are you guys okay? This is a two-part question. If you guys are for the esports, what kind of games would you like to see on the Olympic level?
You need shooting games, you need sports games, and you need like some random games like Fall Guys. Like
Fall Guys in the Olympics, dude, that would be
well, a
crazy.
game like that. But and like games like or you gotta raise stuff and
Rocket
battle
League.
them. That's a little different.
Rocket League for me is a would be a great one.
That's a sports game. That's in there. Like specific games, it
Uh,
doesn't really matter. But
But I
FIFA would
won't watch
probably
any of
be
them.
in there.
see, the problem with sports games is they shouldn't be able to. So it's still they'd still be representing their country, so they'd have to play with that country's team. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So they can't switch teams, and they're gonna have players playing. Like you can have like at least in NBA, you can have 5 people playing all the players. So whatever they do for like FIFA, I don't know how many people you can have on one team. They'd have to do the same thing, and you couldn't be able to switch it ever. Like so, from the qualifying round all the way to the Olympics, you'd have to be playing the same team, same player each time. They'd have to be specific about that. Subbing people in and
But
out, it'd be same thing.
by the way, let me ask you one thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot.
Oh my god, this nigga. You literally just asked. You said you
Shit.
going to ask something.
Oh yeah. Who started the name Karen?
What name?
Like people use the word Karen for every
Karen.
woman
Karen,
that complains.
Nigga,
Yeah.
Karen. Nigga, someone. They just used it as an insult. I don't know if her name was Karen, but it was during the Black Lives Matter stuff. some white
It's an
lady name.
Yeah, but
average.
who
It's an
cares? Who was
average
like,
white
let's
girl name.
let's call them Karen.
I know
Like
I've
let's call
never
them
met a Karen.
Karen.
I've never met a Karen in my life, but some.
I met a few.
I've met, but yeah, who decided it to be like only Karen? Like, did they know like some bad
It was a
lady
Black
that
Lives
had the
Matter
name
stuff.
Karen?
They recorded her, and all guys got views, and they're like, "Hey, you're a Karen," and then everyone's like, "Yeah, Karen," and then people keep showing the same
Yeah.
experience. They're like,
What
"Karen,"
the fuck?
and then a guy
Man,
does it, and they're like,
people are
"Karen."
so.
No, there's a male name for guys. I forgot which one, but there's a
Kyle?
one for guys too. Uh,
Bob.
no. I'm not. I don't know if
Kyle,
anyone
Kyle?
remember it. The thing is
Terrence.
about that whole Karen fad for me was amusing for like a week. After that, it's like,
I hate
okay,
those moments.
I don't want to see compilations of like 20 Karens acting out in public. It's like I'm over that shit. You know what I mean?
Before we get back
Some people
into
are still
before we
some
get
people
back
are
into
still
it,
really
Kevin,
into it.
Kevin, Ken.
calling someone a
Ken.
Karen is worse than
Kevin.
calling someone a nigger.
Kevin,
I'm just
Ken,
saying.
Kyle.
It's okay.
I mean,
So,
imagine if
so
somebody whose name is Karen, they would be like, fuck.
exactly. That's the point. You're just
They didn't do anything bad.
it's no worse than nigger. It's no worse than
I'd
Nah,
be
nigger.
angry.
nah.
I'd be angry if somebody used
You're
my name in
using it
order
as
to.
a disparaging remark to put someone down by calling them Karen
Yeah,
based
that
on
is true.
based on their skin color because they're always white and their hair too. It's the same thing.
Mm.
The only difference is white people didn't come up with this one. Minorities did.
So they cannot be like, oh, that guy's racist. But to be
So
honest, it's not like one race is being like.
it
White people
is.
call them Karen as well.
Hey, black people call each other niggers too. So
Yeah, one guy could not come up with a reply and then he will throw a punch.
No.
oh
It's
yeah,
things escalate into violence because you don't want to keep talking shit anymore. You just want to get to it.
no, it's because
Dude, I
it's
don't
because the other
wanna hit
person speaking the
somebody's
truth.
mom.
It's because the
What
other
the
person's
fuck,
speaking the
bro?
truth, and they're like, "Yeah, you suck. I will fuck your mom tonight," and then
Nah,
you
look,
miss a wide open
I'm
shot,
against
and then they're like,
against
"Oh,
hitting someone.
hey, that's cool."
I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah, here's my thing. If you hit, I'm not gonna be. I don't initiate violence. I just, I just, I push it forward to make shit happen, so that you do hit me, so I can do something. I believe in self defense. Even if I cause it, I believe in self defense.
Even if I cause
So
it.
I will antagonize
There's
you
no fuck
to do
it.
something. Like literally, like all these situations. Like even when I told you about the guy with the gun, I literally kept walking towards him when he was pointing it at me. I'm like, what you gonna do? Like, hey,
Dude,
I
he will
want you to do
shoot
something.
and then you will be dead.
Even when I was a kid and I almost got in a fight with this guy when we were at this Discover World, whatever the amusement park is next to Disney World, Universal Studios. This is Universal Studios. My friend bumped into one of the guys' his sisters, and then he turned and saw me. Like my friend disappeared. He's like a ninja. And he saw me, and he's like, "What the fuck you bumped into my sister for?" I sized him up, and I was like, "What are you gonna do?" Like, look, I don't throw the first punch. I just respond. I just do self defense.
Dude, you will say sorry and then you will leave.
I never apologize. The only time I apologize is if I accidentally bump into somebody, and that's if I'm not listening to music. If I have music on, I'm not saying anything. I just look back at them and I nod my head like, literally. If I'll
I'm
see something,
usually I'm
go ahead.
I'm usually not for violence, but I gotta admit, I mean, it feels good to throw a punch. I remember boxing a couple of times, and where I used to live, and it was fun as fuck, dude. Boxing,
It is.
just
This is
the
why.
physical aspect of it,
This is. This is
it's
why
interesting.
people get into the UFC and they've lost like seven straight fights, and they keep wanting to fight. It's like, bro, you need to stop. You're gonna get hurt really bad. He's like, no, I want to keep doing this. Is what I love to do. You haven't won a match in like 6 years. I love this. It's like, it's dangerous, but yeah, it's fun. It's one of those like,
UFC specifically, I would if I would box, if I would do hand content, I would probably box. Or I always found kickboxing more interesting than boxing, but it never became as big, you know.
I would do
Uh,
Kickboxing hurts more.
I gotta
Kicks
do
hurt more
MMA.
than punches.
MMA, because punching isn't punching. is fun and it's technical, but
Dude,
MMA
kicks
there's more
hurt more.
options. You can kick
Kicks
in
hurt
MMA.
more.
Yeah, that's why they're so hard to do.
Like if you hit a knee in somebody's stomach, that hurts like shit.
You know how many videos I've seen of people cracking their legs in the UFC this year? Two
Oh my
times.
god. Conor
They
McGregor,
checked.
one
They
of
checked.
them.
Yeah, and then it happened the next pay per view too. To Luke Rockhold, he kicked
No,
somebody.
no,
His leg got checked, and his leg snapped in half.
yeah, shit, yes, that's a risk you take by kicking. If I was in the UFC,
Never
I would
kicked.
probably learn judo. I would probably learn a submissive style of fighting, to submission. Sorry.
So,
Get on the
what do you
ground and
think?
then hit a submission.
Yeah.
What do you think
Mm-hmm.
about the Olympics having an MMA, like MMA part into it, which would be crazy because normally these guys take months to train, like 2 3 months to train.
They have
But what
one
if they
sport
have
which
like
is
a
like that.
what is it?
I forgot its name. There the two guys wrestle. Like they can hit submission, they can throw.
Oh, you mean
I
like
forgot the
like
term.
like like yeah, like wrestling and yeah, I
Yeah,
think I know
exactly.
what you mean.
But what about like
Fuck,
a
what's the
country
name?
team Olympics? So you have a certain amount of players for each round. So
I think for Olympic,
every
like
round you get one wrestler. A person
no,
cannot participate again.
yo, chaos. I think there are some rules to which sports they can add because some sports are not played in like everywhere. Like cricket. Cricket, for example, it's not an Olympic sport, but it's played by
And it
like other
shouldn't
countries.
be because it's a dumb sport. I've seen cricket, and every time I see it, it's like, why would somebody try to make this a sport? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I like
Baseball is there.
bro. Baseball is so boring, but it is a sport.
Basically, it is boring, but at least it makes more sense than cricket.
That's true.
Dude, baseball is like a, you could say it came from cricket only. They just changed some rules.
Oh man,
Fuck no, bro. What the
like
fuck you talking
like
about?
excitement. They added excitement to it.
Yeah, they made it good
It still
instead
sucks,
of
but
Baseball,
they made it
crap.
good.
dude, cricket is better than baseball.
Oh my god! Of course you would say that.
Bro, really?
That's your country's national sport or something.
No, national sport is hockey.
What?
India,
In India?
yo, you need to get your government to start funding your hockey team because I never even know y'all had a hockey team.
Yeah, bro. What
Dude,
the fuck?
Did they put
in
it in the
India,
what kind of? Do
dude,
you have ice rinks or like dirt rinks?
How
India,
come you never seen an Indian hockey movie? If it's so popular, bro. There would have been a movie by now. Like
they have a
Slumdog
movie.
Millionaire.
They have a movie
I've
on
seen
hockey.
more
They have
black
two
hockey
movies.
players than Indian hockey players.
Two movies in hockey. No, like in hockey, India has won like 7 gold medals till now.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Where do y'all keep your ice rinks?
No, ice hockey is different. This hockey is different.
You're playing street hockey
No,
on roller
it's
skates?
on the. It's like its ground is similar to football ground, and they don't need skates for that.
This is
Motherfucker,
field
that's
hockey.
not hockey.
This is
You
field
said
hockey.
I thought you've been saying ice hockey all the time.
Nigga, that's field hockey. It has a name. That's not even
It's good.
hockey.
That is hockey.
No, when we say hockey, we mean ice and skates.
Oh,
That's
fuck ass.
Okay, field hockey. Man, this nigga. This guy. This
Fuck
dude probably
you.
wasn't even throwing a javelin. Yeah, what was he doing?
Field hockey. I never even heard of that shit.
Yeah, you never played field hockey? That's like a PE thing. I used to play it in PE.
No, no, no.
But yeah, I have heard of field hockey. I told you your women's team, they are about to get a ring, or they got one. I don't know.
No, they lost.
I thought they made it to where they can get a medal.
No, like they if they won it, they could have gotten the bronze, but they lost.
Well, they're gonna get rocks thrown at their houses. GG's.
No, they.
Hopefully, the javelin man is married to one of them. That's the only way. Like the people will be kind of like conflicted about it. Like javelin man's there, but that woman's hockey player.
You know, over here, they wouldn't do that to people. They don't do that to people who lose on our behalf.
Because
We're
It
not
makes
like
no
No,
that.
sense.
no,
See, I
chaos,
like
chaos, chaos.
you're American. Yeah, it's an American place. That's why.
No, only in cricket they do that kind of stuff. In Olympic, if they lose, they don't throw stones. Only in cricket. In cricket, when they lose the World Cup, they will start rioting.
Nigga, no, who gives a fuck about cricket? That's a real
Who
question.
gives a fuck about cricket, dude? You're gonna even name cricket. That's not even a good name for a sport.
Yo, when I hear cricket, I think
That's
of
a
like,
bug.
look, yeah, exactly. Not a grasshopper, a cricket. The thing that won't shut up.
I mean, cricket is not a good sport. Same with baseball, and then NFL. These are all shit
Oh
sports.
my god.
NFL is kind
NFL,
of tactical though. NFL is pretty tactical whatever the
Boring,
plays.
dude.
man,
The
this nigga don't.
tactical does
You
not
just
mean it
mad
has to
because
be
it's
good.
football. You're mad because it's the real football. Let's be honest.
It's fake
You're just a
football,
hater
fake,
because it's the real
fake
football.
football. It's boring
Gosh,
as
honestly,
football.
honestly, you know what you need to do? You need to play sports games, okay? Even if I'm not the biggest fan of watching sports,
Yeah,
once you play them, it's very different, okay? Even in video games.
real
I
life games.
played. It's,
Dude,
eh, eh,
I liked this American football anime, which was I Shield 21, but that's all.
Yo,
wow, that's
don't you
dude, I
play
know that
FIFA?
anime.
Don't you
That's
play
like
FIFA?
that's really old.
Don't you play FIFA, Ash? Or is that Sarv?
Surf Place, I started
No, that's
playing with that and then I stopped
Yo,
because.
like when I went to college, all the white kids play FIFA.
I never played a FIFA game
Yo,
ever.
media, I just watched. I'm like, that's not my thing. It doesn't excite me. Never been
Yeah,
into
me
it.
neither.
Dude,
I have played baseball in real life and in games. I played football in real life and in games. Basketball, hockey. I
FIFA,
played street hockey.
Field
Uh,
hockey?
dude,
street hockey with rollerblades.
Yeah, that's the one Ash was
FIFA,
talking about.
FIFA, FIFA I used to play when they didn't have in-app purchases. Like nowadays, you have to buy packs and so much shit
You don't.
just
Hey,
in
you
order to
don't
get a
have to.
team.
You don't have to do that stuff. But it's
You
obviously
need good
it makes
players,
it
man.
better. It makes it you better.
Yeah,
But
you need good no you need good players because you're like, oh, at least I'm playing with players I know about. I don't care about these no name players. Get in the fucking substitute team.
yeah, like back when I played NBA 2K, the what's it called, the My Team, so you can play online, you can get players and stuff.
Yeah.
I would just put all the money I earned from games into it. I saw you do. That's back before you could buy or you really bought packs. It was back when it first started, I guess. And I get my players. I was ranked one. I was like world ranked at one point. And then the next game, when it came out, it was all people buying packs, like everybody. And I was like, bro, I'm broke. I can't even afford a Funko Pop.
Now
But yeah,
you got money. Now you can do it again. You love wasting money. That sounds like a good money waster.
I literally haven't played since 2015. That's the thing. So I can't get back like getting back into it. That's gonna be tough.
Hmm. I think I played basketball great, but I was never the best
Same.
at it.
Like
But
I was
was
a
pretty
good
good.
defender,
I was
but
like,
scoring I could do, but if I needed to. But I was a defender.
I never really excelled at anything. I guess I'm a disappointment to my parents.
Same, Rogue, same. You don't have to worry about that. I'll keep you company
Hey,
in being a disappointment.
you didn't disappoint me. You
I
definitely
wish.
disappointed me.
I wish I was one of those kids that was really into space and became an astronaut, or a kid that was really into nature and became a scientist or whatever. But I never cared about any of that shit.
Dude,
Hey,
into nature and becoming a scientist, what the fuck? When you are into nature, you become some kind of a biologist or conservation.
but it's like fighting games. The more you play, the better you get. You practice and all
Yeah.
that shit.
Oh, man, that Street Fighter, I absolutely loved it.
Yo, that would be in the Olympics. Street Fighter. It would have to be.
Yeah, I would love for in Mortal Kombat too, dude.
Yep.
It would be great.
Soul
Man,
Calibur. Soul Calibur.
No,
man,
not really.
dude,
Oh fuck you
ah,
guys!
shit.
But they'd have to
Man,
have like a fighting section for all
I
the
would,
fighting games, and they kind of
I
mix it
would
up
buy,
for each round.
I would fucking buy console just in order to play Street Fighter again. It's been so many years since I played it.
You know, arcades still
Yeah.
exist, right?
Yeah, but you have to pay so much money.
Yeah, it's
Actually, Ash, I don't know. Well, fighting games nowadays are really cheap. They tend to put them on special. Especially
But I
like
need
the
console. I need console. It's not the game is the problem. I need console for playing. My
no, if you
laptop
have
is not good.
a computer, you can just buy it on computer and use a controller.
yeah. You have Steam,
No, my
Microsoft.
laptop is bad. My laptop is bad. It does not support
Oh, by the way, Steam is coming out with a new console. This is not the first console
I don't give a
that
fuck.
they're
Man, fuck
yeah,
Steam.
they usually don't. They usually don't work out well, but they're coming out with a new console
Yo,
too.
I want that Soldier Boy console.
it.
It had 300 stolen games in it. They cut it off. Hey, if you got one, let me know. Like, hit me up
Who
if you
the
got
fuck
one.
is Soldier Boy?
Oh my god. Yeah, you should buy a console,
No.
man. You should buy
By
a
that I
console.
mean you. By
Is
that I
he
mean
dead?
you. But the
But yeah,
Soldier
Is he
Boy.
dead?
Don't you even know? Oh my God.
if you don't
Is
buy a
Soldier Boy dead?
console, no. If you don't buy a console, you can still get Steam, the Microsoft Play Store for the Xbox games.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo,
Or
that's Nintendo. You need a console, so no. But yeah, you
or
got
I can
options.
get like a gaming laptop. Gaming laptop will be better, easily carryable,
Yeah,
and I can do my all the computer related stuff on that as well. So
yeah,
yeah, that would be better investment.
yeah. You can get that too. Like, you don't need an actual console to play games anymore. You can shit. You can play that shit
Yeah.
on your phone. And you can just like put
Yeah.
it onto your TV. Like shit.
Yeah, you can use emulators and don't buy anything and just get a controller.
Yeah.
Dude,
Uh,
My
emulators.
favorite
Yeah, but
phone.
you.
Oh, my favorite phone
Yeah.
I used to have an emulator on it, and it had like this control pad that was digital. Oh, I miss that phone so much. I have no idea where I put it.
yeah.
It was great for Game Boy and PlayStation, early PlayStation 1, 2 games. I loved it.
Yeah, dude, it's
Yo,
great.
that tablet I sent you, the emulator was on there, but I accidentally deleted everything, so I couldn't
It's
keep it
okay.
on
I
there.
put a new one in there. I put a new one in there.
No, but that emulator was the best. Trust me.
I put I put an emulator that has like four emulators in it.
Yeah.
It can play, yeah. So yeah. In terms of like sorry, electronic games that I could put in Olympics. Fighting games, I would put Street Fighter. I would put Mortal Kombat. I would probably put Tekken because Tekken is pretty popular.
I
Even though I don't
think
play it,
I think they need to put all the fighting games into one like medal ceremony and have the competitors switch games each round. Just because you need not just the best at that specific game, but at all fighting games, whatever the
oh, that's
competitors
really
would
tough,
choose.
dude. That's super tough.
But hey, that will get more
There's a
people
few players
like
that do it. There's a few players that do it, but not a lot of them are
because
cross games like that.
games are already kind of big, especially with Twitch. We can see people who's the best in the world at one specific game, but not all the games at once. We don't have a competition with like a bunch of fighting games. Like if it was like randomly selected between the games every single contest, every single match, if it was like a random selection of the games, that would show us who was actually the best fighting game player. Do it in like genre type forms because there's too many fighting games that you can't leave out. You know,
Well, that's true. I mean, I only know of one, which is
Or
Sonic.
what you can do?
like even
have like
that DC
have have
game.
oh
That's
the
and it
one God's one.
yeah. There's a game for them that's pretty popular.
Yeah, all these characters come and
Hell,
then it's
you
like
can
an
put the
arcade style.
UFC. You can put UFC in there too. That's a fighting game.
Oh
People
fuck!
Mm,
love that
What was
shit.
the
no,
name of
no,
it?
fuck no,
What was
no,
the
Oh
no,
name
no.
of it, man? It was
yeah,
shit.
I had
Gods Among Us.
yeah.
God Among Us.
There's two of them. Yeah, like there's a lot of fighting games. Like
Yeah.
there's so many you can't leave out, especially looking back at how far fighting games have come and they started with. You'd have
No,
to
I don't think you should put all of them. I think you should put the most popular ones, the one with the
uh,
bigger audiences.
but then that's not gonna prove skill if you're really winning the popular ones. The unpopular
Dude,
ones have required different things too.
there's too
Yeah,
many games, like you said. There would be too many games for two
yeah,
kind.
but you're gonna have a different competitors from different countries. You just have like a list of things, like each round. Not everyone's gonna play the same game. Like it's a different game for each person, and
Have a
then that game's
decathlon.
removed.
Have a decathlon of games. Like
Yeah,
decathlon has like 10 different kind of
yeah. Like,
activities.
there's
So
so many
have it something
options.
like that from
There's
games.
so
No,
many
that's super
options for
hard,
video
dude.
games. There's so many options for video games in the Olympics that they could do. Obviously, they're gonna do something basic like just one game per each thing,
No, they won't do it.
but they
Yeah.
It
wouldn't do
it
this.
won't
But
qualify as Olympic sport.
yeah, but like there's a lot of options they could do, but
Realistically speaking, I think the first sports game they will do will probably do FIFA. Even over Rocket League, I think FIFA would be the first one. I think
I
for
don't think
fighting games,
so. I think
I
Rocket
don't. I
League
can't think
might
of
be up there.
what sports games are more popular than FIFA. Even NBA 2K. I think FIFA is just too big.
But FIFA, the problem with FIFA is that after it's like 2K. It's pretty much the same thing as
In-app
2K.
purchases.
I know it's the same thing, but it's in terms of popularity, it's probably the biggest one. And in terms of fighting games, it will probably be
Street Fighter,
either Street Fighter. Yeah, it's probably gonna be Street Fighter or Tekken.
Tekken.
Mortal Kombat.
And in ter-
We like
and
some
Mortal Kombat would come, yeah, behind, but
it'd be censored. Mortal Kombat would be censored.
Or just have
You pull
Mortal
out their
Kombat
spine,
versus
it
Street
just shows them
Fighter.
taking the metal away from you.
Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighters.
Yeah, but there's a lot
and
of
in
games
terms
as
of
well.
driving, I would imagine they would add a driving section to the games
Yeah,
too, because there's a lot of driving games. I don't play them,
yeah,
but
same thing. Like,
Have you
there's so many
have you
and that
options.
would
played
be it, I
The
think.
shooting
have you
options, there'd be shooting games. Come on now.
have you played Mortal
Shooting,
Kombat
that's
versus
true.
Street Fighter?
So what'd you say?
What? Sorry, Ash? What?
Marvel versus Capcom. Have you played that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't
of
played it,
course,
but
dude.
I've seen it. I'm not a fan of
I used to
Marvel,
play a
but
lot of it. The second one specifically. I used to play a lot of it on Dreamcast with my friends.
I would never put any money into anything Marvel.
Dude,
It
what are
was
you
a
saying?
good game.
Marvel is fucking great, dude. I don't understand why the people hate Marvel. Marvel is fucking amazing.
Okay,
They
Everything that
don't
they've
hate
done.
Marvel.
get off
They
their
just
dick.
hate the MCU. They
No,
just
you
hate
know
the
what?
MCU.
No,
It's a
Marvel
given.
sucks.
That's why people say they suck or whatever. People are like jaded to it. It's
It's
so
not
great that people don't give a fuck, even though it's pretty amazing what they did.
amazing. It's not amazing. Stupid comedy's
Dude,
amazing. There's
have you seen the
so
Is
Marvel?
taking a
Compare
shit
the
amazing?
Marvel. We're
Yo,
talking
Chaos.
about movies, okay?
Yo, Chaos is
the
taking a shit amazing.
no,
That's what Marvel did. They just took a big dump.
not amazing.
In terms of how they built the Marvel universe, in terms of movies, nobody has ever done that
Avengers,
before.
Avengers
Fantastic
one.
Four,
It,
Fantastic Four two, the new Fantastic Four, X Men one, X Men two, X Men three. Oh, the new X Men. Oh yeah, great job building that. They have fucking Green
And
Lantern in their movies too.
those are kind of good examples,
Oh,
especially the X Men one.
those are MCU. What are you talking about? They're not MCU. Yes, they are. Fucking There's three different Spider Mans. They're not MCU.
they're
I don't
making
know.
a movie with all of them, which is
Yeah,
good.
it's gonna be fire. Toby's gonna steal the show. Fuck Andrew.
Yeah. Andrew and that young kid are gonna be like, are
Yo,
we? Why are we still there?
yo,
This guy is just doing all the acting.
Toby should just kick them out the filming process. Like when he appears, he should just throw them back to
Bully
the cutting
Maguire,
board.
Bully Maguire. He's like,
You know
yeah,
that GIF I used to post of him appearing and throwing like Thanos
yeah.
somewhere? Yeah, that's gonna be it.
No, I mean the X Men. I thought they were gonna build a bigger universe with the X Men as a standalone thing, but
Nah,
they kind of did with the first movies.
Logan ruined the X Men.
Yeah, then it kind of became so all about Logan at one point of it. So they didn't really fulfill it. Marvel did it as an overall. They did it better, dude, with the
You
whole
No,
know,
Iron Man
no,
and
I
Avengers shit.
strongly disagree. But that's not for this
yeah.
time. I'm not gonna talk about that now. We'll do that maybe next time.
Maybe another
Nah,
podcast.
Nope, maybe never. Okay. Nah. But yeah,
yeah, yeah,
there's so many options on games that they can do. But
that's true.
there's too many games. Like they even have like you said speed running. Speed running would have to be there.
Mm, I would hate it to be there.
It would be there.
It's so speedrunning is kind of dumb.
Hey, there's a lot of
I mean,
things in the Olympics that are dumb.
I like it. I like
Yo,
speedrunning,
chaos,
but
chaos.
uh,
Yes, sir.
You, You watch movies. Have you seen The Pig?
What was it about?
The what?
Nicolas Cage one, new,
Oh, the new
2021.
one? No, I haven't seen. I haven't watched a movie. I've only watched like Netflix movies. I haven't looked for anything new. I still gotta watch fucking Space Jam. Shit,
What the fuck?
I know.
One or two?
Two.
Holy shit.
Nigga, I grew up. I'm a '90s baby. The fuck? Of course, I've seen the first one.
You know, on Netflix, I don't know if they have it anymore. They used to have a movie, or I think they still have it, called Athlete A, and then it's like a documentary on gymnasts, on the whole side
Yeah,
of it, and
yeah,
it was pretty good. They show how different countries train. Like they say, for example, the most strict coaches came from like the Russians,
Mm-hmm.
and they were probably like the best in terms of training, but they were very strict and they
Okay.
were very cold to their players, and even they would even insult them. Like they didn't care to be politically correct or anything like that. So a lot of them got hurt by their commentaries or
Sensitive.
whatever.
Sensitive.
Yeah, but imagine you see those girls and you're like, you calling a little tiny girl, she's like 100 pounds, and you're like, you're fat, you're never gonna jump, you're trash. And she's like, dude, she's gonna develop into an anorexic
You gotta
or some
remember
shit like
something.
that.
Like I always say, this is your life. You should know your body yourself. Like I said, I don't. Coaches, I get their points, but they don't do it. It's the person, the player. They are the
It's
one that
the
makes the points.
discipline, dude.
If you're
It's
taking
sort of
what they're
like
saying to heart, you gotta look at yourself and realize what's real and what's fiction. What
you
is?
know,
Go ahead.
it's fucked up because I do think that harsher environment in terms of training does create results,
It depends
but
on the person.
it comes at the expense of like your mental health a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. For example, like you see Jackie Chan when he talks about his upbringing, he thought he performed in like kung fu. It was like a martial arts school where they also taught you theater,
Yeah.
and he said they were very strict, that they would hit him and they would do shit that was like awful. But he developed a work ethic thanks to it that's like pretty amazing
It's
because he's very on the spot in terms of work ethic, and that comes from all that harsh training. You
it's
know
like
what I mean?
it's like what they say about Catholic schools, how they don't like left-handed people, so they'd hit your left hand every time you try to use it. That's why they make it right-handed. Yeah, like it depends on the person. Obviously, some people can handle it and understand it better, and
Yeah, it either makes you or breaks you. You know what I mean?
yeah, if you can't handle the heat, get out the kitchen.
Dude,
Jackie Chan.
I was in Catholic school, and the nuns used to grab you by your sideburns and drag you
Oh,
out of the.
What
they
the
did
fuck?
that to you as well? I thought
Yeah,
that was
dude.
our thing. Yeah, they would just fucking take the side ones and then they would stretch it and you would be like hanging from the side.
Those motherfuckers, no, they enjoyed that shit. They enjoyed it. Like
See,
Yeah.
they would love to punish children, dude.
see,
I
I
thought
watch
that that
movies.
was our thing only. I never knew that shit happened in Puerto Rico. It's an international way of
Ash,
torturing kids.
Ash, the world is bigger than you imagine. You're not just in your little bubble, man. Open your eyes.
Uh,
Go to your local Catholic school. See what happens there. Just peek in. Even with COVID, they'll still be doing that, pulling sideburns. They have gloves on.
Well, I don't know if nowadays. I don't think nowadays any teacher can handle a kid.
You know they can.
yeah,
You know,
I say go back to hitting kids because kids are becoming shit right now. They need discipline. They need to be disciplined.
so let's say Rock, you hear about your teacher hit your daughter. What happens? Your daughter's teacher.
Okay, I'm gonna put this realistically. If there's a teacher that happens to hit students in their class, and it's a way to keeping them in line, I would have to like I would have to know exactly why he hits them, how he hits them, and if he does it in a way to keep the classroom strict.
What if he just
And
likes hitting them?
listen,
He just likes
and then
hitting them.
no, if he just like beating them and he's not showing any results that are positive, I'm obviously gonna be against it. But if he's
He
like,
only likes to hit him on the ass.
you're just making it worse.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Now he
What are
sounds
you
like
gonna
a
do?
pedo.
Like, come on,
Now he
man.
sounds like a pedo, dude.
Hey, people trust their teachers, but let's be honest.
No, no, I'm saying it because when I was in sixth grade, we had a teacher that used to hit us with a ruler. But
Yeah.
everybody in her class paid attention. She really controlled the class in a way. And she did hit us, but it wasn't excessive to the point where I would call it child abuse. But it
So
was a different time. I don't know.
let's
So
take this back to the Olympics. You said like you had the Russians who were yelling at people and calling them, telling those little girls they're fat and they're weighing like they weigh like 100 pounds.
I
So,
know, like the tiniest girls, and they're calling them whales. It's so funny. That's so weird.
they use the old "your mama's so fat when she wears yellow and walks outside, everyone thinks she's a school bus" on the little girls. They're saying that about them.
Yes.
Or right now
So
they can just say that your mom is a plus size model.
the fuck? Okay, hey, plus size models are sexy, man.
Yeah, dude, that's like the comp. Well, I don't
Because
know.
the thing with models, it's all confidence. They need to put modeling in the Olympics. I'd watch that shit.
Dude, no, let me tell you something about modeling. Modeling is the fakest bullshit ever.
Oh yeah,
Modeling, first of all, the women are too skinny. See, the thing is about modeling,
they're
modeling is
making
not about.
brains.
No, listen, the thing about modeling is not being pretty. It's about making a good canvas. So
Yeah.
that's what you often see models that have like a big nose or whatever. She's not the prettiest, but she makes a good canvas for makeup
What
and
a
all that. You know what I mean?
what a beautiful honker she has.
Yeah, exactly. Like you really don't know. So,
But
but modeling,
modeling,
no.
it's changing. They're letting bigger women are now shining too.
Bigger?
It's not just twigs, okay? They're getting bigger.
Yeah, they're shining for all the diseases that they will get, like diabetes, heart attack, cholesterol, blood.
Well, yeah, the Olympics. You know, I didn't watch it. Ash is an encyclopedia. Rock kind of watches it. It's got its
No, you know
moments.
what? You know what? I would rate the Olympics 3 out of 10.
I would give it a 0 out of 10. If not that, a 1 out of 10.
Damn, bro,
I
that's
watch
cold.
Olympics. You guys watch Olympics same way
I don't watch
people
the
on
Olympics.
YouTube. Listen, let me complete. The
Sorry.
same way people on the YouTube watch our podcast.
Can you put crickets in there? Do you have that sound effect?
I can find some. Oh, speaking of crickets,
Nobody.
nobody cares about cricket.
We
It is dead
brought
and
it back
buried.
to the point. That's how you do it. See?
And all our links, our
Yeah.
socials are in the description.
Cricket, baseball, trash. NFL, trash. The best sports is football, also known as soccer
You
to
just
the
said football was
Americans.
trash.
NFL.
Yeah, you said football was trash.
That's not football,
Football
that's
is
fake
trash. You said
football.
football.
That's fake football.
Oh, you mean soccer?
No, that's the real football.
NFL is real football.
No, that's fake.
NFL is real football. We're going to end it
Oh
there.
my
All our
God,
links and
dude,
our
No,
to our
no,
socials are in the
no.
dude, dude.
description.
Oh
We'll
my
catch you next
fucking
time. Thanks
god.
for watching.